Daughter in the city, rushing through me. Down home, upstream, are you with me? Under rainbow, daughter in the city, rushing through me. Down home, upstream, are you with me? Feel it.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. It's been too long. Welcome to another installment of the Casually Chelsea show. I'm here with the Bridge Nation, Oliver Twist, myself, Casually FC, Marshall DX. Here to talk about some Chelsea, some things that have gone on since the last time we did this show. Not everything, obviously, because there's been a lot of little things here and there. It was a slow February, but it really ramped up towards the last few weeks there. So we got plenty of things to talk about. Be sure, if you haven't done so already, like the video, comment on the below if you want to, if you got to the end of the video, let me know your opinions and thoughts on any segment that we discussed today. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Subscriptions really help us grow, help the community grow, as well as the likes. So, hey, let's keep it going. We're almost at 4K. I want to get to that 5K mark, so I can already tell you guys a big announcement for the channel. So go ahead and do that, please, because it helps us out tremendously, especially if you are new here. Helps us out. Hey, you're returning, right? There's something about the content you like. Maybe you like Ahmed when he speaks, or maybe Oliver's spitting facts sometimes, or maybe he's getting angry and you like that. It doesn't matter. We're here for you. All right. And then memberships, 4 different tiers starting at 99p. Be sure to check those out as well. You get some cool emojis as a result of using them, or getting memberships, as well as other perks. But how we doing, guys? It's been a while since we haven't done like a match reaction, so this is like, a little downtime, a little hang about. Oh, it's just you and me then, Ahmed.
Listen, man, just you and me. Help.
There you go. All right, so it's just me now.
Wait.
That was
sorry,
quick.
was that on me?
Yeah.
My apologies, was that on me? My bad, sorry.
No, you're muted now. No. I'm sorry. You're not muted. I just heard your brother in the background. That's all.
Bro, I'm on stream. Chill out, please. Thank you.
All right, let's go ahead and get started then, guys. First thing I want to start with is hey. A little bit of a round of applause, because Chelsea actually won something today, and of course it has to be the women's team that help us out, because they get their shit together and we don't. So Chelsea are Women's League Cup winners today. They were able to beat Man United 2-0, and hey, a little something, Chelsea's winning something, you respect the women, so it's there. It wasn't looking too good in the beginning of the season. I'm not gonna lie, or at least when I went to watch them, because they ended up getting tossed by Arsenal. I think it was 2-0 when I went to see them. Shortly after that, City beat them in the league too. In the league, I think the women are actually, they're still in third, so 10 points behind City. So Sonia Bonpastor was under a bit of pressure early in January, I should say. And it looks like this is going to give a good boost to the team. Hopefully they go on to continue winning stuff, and they turn it around the league as well. But yeah, any thoughts on the Chelsea women? I mean, this is something to be happy about. We won something, at least. I feel like an Arsenal fan now, but it is what it is. This is the circumstances in which Blue Co put me in. But any thoughts, guys, or we'll just move on to the next one?
I mean, good for them.
I didn't even know it was a me. My apologies. But,
there you
go ahead, Scott. Oliver was talking about. My apologies.
Humbling.
I'll keep it short. I mean, because I don't watch the. I'll keep it short because I don't watch the women's team and like I just don't have the
Me
time for
neither.
that. But this is good for them, and yeah, good for them. It's good to see, and this is the lasting legacy of Mr. Paul Green and Emma Hayes as well. It's nothing to do with Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, and I hope everyone realises that.
True. Ahmed, any thoughts, or should we go into the next one that actually relates to what Oliver said?
Just generally big up to them. I'm really happy for them. They deserve it, and that's pretty much all I can say, really.
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned Paul Green, Oliver, because that's the next segment, which is when the Chelsea Women's have a new director now. His name is Phil Radley, and I know nothing about him, but it probably has to do with this whole fiasco that we talked about, I think, on the last show in regards to Paul Winstanley, or was it Lawrence Stewart? You remind me, Oliver, because you're the one that put me onto that. The restructure.
Well, it was mostly Paul Winstanley that was quoted in the reports.
Yeah, all right. So Paul Winstanley, starting to get his grubby hands on the women's team now, and as a result, the previous director probably was part of the reason why he walked away, stepped out of it. Doesn't want anything to do with it, which is fine. And here we are now with a new one, and I only hope that. Listen, the last few years when this ownership took over, and it seemed like operations were at the standard that it's supposed to be, it looked like, okay, fine, maybe they're not touching the women's team, they're going to keep it all according to plan. There's a certain word I'm forgetting, but it's okay, it'll come to me. But yeah, pretty much keeping the standard at the Chelsea women's team. So I was all right, cool. But now it looks like they're getting their hands on it, and this is where I start getting worried that the Chelsea women's team will start to decline as well, which obviously all this leads to the financial stuff that we're going to talk about later. But yeah, any thoughts on this new director guy? Just, I guess, hope the best.
Am I right, Marshall? Am I right in saying that you've gathered no tweets or news on this Phil Radley guy?
Nope, nothing.
He has no experience in women's football. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, lovely. Oh, I think I remember hearing about that. That's always great, guys.
He has no experience in this field.
Inexperienced sporting director. That's always worked out for us. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
Does anyone know his actual, like, I can't answer this, so I'm not asking this to answer it, but does anyone actually know his, like, history in football, or, like, what he's done, or his resume?
I'm going to check his LinkedIn. All right, Casually FC woman director. Okay. Let's see. Let's get this out of here, too. Let's see. You know what? I don't feel like logging into my LinkedIn, so we're just going to... I see a red logo on there. Maybe he has worked with like United or something. I don't know. Or no. Here we go. Some personal and professional news. After more than a decade with Right to Dream and FC Northside, I've decided to what? I've decided to.
What? He paused that.
Okay, Right to Dream's an academy, isn't it?
Yeah. I decided that the time is right to look for my next adventure. That was only 8 months ago. So yeah, I don't really know much about this guy. It doesn't look
so he's working. He worked in a men's football. So he worked in a men's football academy, and now he's fronting a senior women's football operation. Good job, guys.
Oh, a very senior one too at that. Let's be honest, because yeah. Okay, so it says here 8 years almost 9, pretty much, a month away from 9 at FC Nordsjælland. I don't know what that is. What the heck?
Nordsjælland.
Chief operating officer for a year after that. Before that, this is all from within 2024. All this experience.
So he was an executive. He has no. Yeah. So we've hired a sporting director that was an executive, and he hasn't.
So. From what I could tell, he's worked his way. He started at this club, FC. What club is this? Hold on. I need to figure this out. I can't even copy and paste. This is ridiculous. Boom. Give me 1 second, guys. Also, if I'm missing any tweets today, chat or panel, just let me know, because I had to like try to get this show together. There's so much that was going on. Superliga, where Midtjylland play. What country is that? You guys remember Midtjylland? Danish. There we
go. I'll try.
Danish. So it's a Danish League One side. So I guess the main the main league. They were there he was there for about 9 years, worked his way up the ladder, and then in 2024 of June, he became sporting director for them. So he has about a year and 4 months worth of sporting director experience, and now he's at Chelsea.
Hey man, that's Chelsea for you right there, mate. That's Chelsea.
Sounds about right.
So that's Phil Radley, people.
No, it literally sounds about right because Paul Winstanley wasn't a sporting director before he took the reins.
Yeah, but at least he was working.
He was a chief scout.
Yeah, but it was at least a Premier League level side, right? Like, sporting directing, being a sporting director in a Danish side, like, no disrespect to Danish football or anything, but like, the pressure there. Do you is the quality of player, you have more chance, more of a leeway to fail and leeway to explore other options and see what players are talented. Like, are you going to have the same talent pool that Chelsea has access to? Like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know.
According to them, they're saying yes. So
I just listen. A year and 8 months of sporting directing experience.
I mean, listen,
it doesn't strike any fear in me.
I mean, this is what I'll say. And listen, I hate Paul Winstanley and I hate Lawrence Stewart and I hate Joe Shields and for what it's worth. But their hirings were less egregious as this because even though it's lazy that they go back to their Brighton targets and their ex-Manchester City Academy connections, at least they have those connections. This guy has nothing. Sure. He's never worked in women's football before. He has no database to pull from. He has no scouting reports.
So it's not like a Nepo hire.
No, it's not. That's not the point, Marshall. Because like I don't want the Nepo hires. Like, the point is like Shields, Stewart, Winstanley. They've all worked in men's football, and even though we don't like the fact that they have like these Nepo connections, at least they have those. Because this guy has nothing in terms of women's football. He has nothing.
So he's going to be like Bowley first season where he's making friends with everybody trying to get a good deal. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. I mean, when I heard you say he's a chief executive, that's why I reacted so badly to it, because it's basically Todd Bowley. Yeah.
It says here, started off as group legal counsel, did that for about 5 years, 10 months, then became chief operating officer for a year and 10 months, then all of a sudden director of football, a year, 4 months, and then he left for Chelsea. So he's worked his way up the ladder, which is good at least. I guess if I want to put a positive twist to this, you could at least say like, okay, you have an idea or a foundation of how a club operates, right? I get more concerned about the talent pool and the ability to find good talents at a top level club. That's where I get concerned with.
The thing is, though, it's not no experience at our level though, and you got to remember Chelsea women's in women's football is basically the equivalent of like Fergie's Manchester United back when he was in situ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
So that's the status they hold in the current game. They're not.
Of course.
That's the status they hold. They're not the best. Fergie's Manchester United wasn't the best because you had Real Madrid's and Barcelona's winning all the Champions Leagues, and to this day, Barcelona still dominate the women's UCL. But in terms of like in England, we are top dogs in recent history.
Pretty much. My opinions on this is that I'm very neutral. I'm gonna see what happens, but it doesn't seem like the ladies fans, at least Chelsea women's fans, aren't too happy about this. Because I'm not that much clued into women's football. Big up to them though.
Probably more than us to be. Well, I should say me, not Oliver. Probably more than me, because I mean, you at least have the local fans on the day to day, but.
No, I wouldn't even say I'm clued in. I mean, I've actually been to see a few of the women's games over the years, but like beyond that, I mean, it's just kind of in a very casual way. I don't know the ins and outs of the players and like who's best in what position or anything like that.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I'm the same way. But hey, it's at least the first part of it. Us winning the League Cup is at least some good news for the Chelsea side of things. But yeah, we'll keep keeping an eye on this director thing. There's a few people I know who actually, do somewhat follow the women's team and know good signings and bad signings, or at least signings from other teams. And we'll see what happens, because we're going into a summer window soon. There's going to be women's signings there, I'm sure, and we'll see what kind of team they recruit. It'll be interesting. All right, let's move on to the next thing relating to Chelsea, to an extent, is our legendary left back. Ashely Cole has now found a new home and is starting to coach, be a manager. Ashely Cole has signed his new Cesena. I think it's Cesena. Cesena. All right. Manager in Italian second division Serie B. So was Fabregas, was Como in Serie B when Fabregas started, or were they already in Serie A?
Yes.
So they were Serie B. He promoted them, and now they're up there competing in Serie A.
Yeah,
I think that's accurate. So hopefully, Ashely Cole does the same
well,
thing.
I think. Sorry, Marshall. I think what it was. I think he didn't have his coaching badges yet, so he was working as the assistant, but he was basically the manager. Like in effect.
Yeah, I think Cole was the assistant coach to JT at Villa, I believe.
No.
And no,
he was
the assistant coach somewhere.
He was on Lampard's coaching staff recently.
True.
He was basically Lampard's coach assistant. He wasn't with John Terry at all.
And I know he was at Everton with Lampard.
Got it. Yeah. So he's been kind of like doing the behind the scenes work at previous teams. I think to an extent he had some type of coaching role in the UK setup, right? In the England setup?
Yeah, in the England national. I think I don't know what it was. Was it the youth setup or was it I don't think it was the seniors. I mean, I might be wrong, but
yeah, I don't remember. Maybe the youth setup. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to see that he's finally taking that next step forward now, and going to see what he can do as a manager, because he's been coaching for a while now. He's been in and out of the Chelsea environment or ecosystem. He's also done a little bit of work with, like you said, with Lampard. I don't think he was involved in Coventry at all this season, but he was there with Everton, I'm pretty sure, and maybe a little bit of Chelsea.
He was with Lampard at Derby as well. Like at the tail end of his career, at the tail end of his career, he was basically kind of like a player coach at Derby. Like he was like his legs were gone, but and then he transitioned into the coaching role. So sort of like that.
What were you gonna say, Chris?
He was at Chelsea for a little bit, I think, at the end.
In the interim period, right?
Yeah. But I don't think he was the one in charge, but
it was Frank.
Yeah, he was like the second term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it'd be great to see if he does well, but English managers never go too well in the top.
Well, the problem is, Chris, this is he's basically. The problem is, Chris, he's basically taken he's effectively taken the John Terry route, and if it goes the way of John Terry, then it's not going to go well.
What do you mean?
Either way.
John Terry's route? Sorry.
Well, he's been coaching. He's been a coach or an assistant for years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
To be fair, he's done one better than John Terry. He's actually gotten a head coach job. But we'll see where it goes from here. I don't know anything about him. I don't know what his style of football is or anything like that. I don't even know this. I don't even know who this club are.
No, because none of us go watch the second division.
Actually, where are they in the table? Are they going to get promoted next season? Let me see.
No, they're probably mid-table right now.
Oh, okay. What are you going to say, Ahmed?
I was gonna say in general, we're gonna see what happens. At the end of the day, he's done his what some might call his dues. He's learned the trade, watched other managers and stuff like that, and now he thinks he's ready to take that step. So we're gonna see if he can.
Yeah, I mean, are we expecting him to do decently, or kind of think this might be another one? Another
who knows?
Or another Lampard.
Again, I think for me, again, it's just I think it's a bit unfair to say that about Ashely Cole because we don't know what his style of play is. We don't know what he wants to do, and I think as such, until we actually see him actually manage, I think that will be the only fair time that we can start doing stuff.
Okay.
And it has to be said as well, this is obviously kind of a given based on some of the managers that managed recently, ex-players. You can't use their careers as players to dictate what they're going to do as managers. Ashely Cole has been coached by a wealth of amazing managers. He's been coached by Wenger, Mourinho, Ancelotti, all these different people. And at the end of the day, like Lampard was coached by all of those bar Wenger, and he stunk. You know, we'll see what he does with Coventry when he comes back up to the Premier League, because it looks like he will. But he's stank in recent years, and he had that wealth of, like, you know, all these different ideas and experiences. So you just have to kind of let it play out, I guess, with Cole.
Yeah, I just looked at the table too. Cesena are in 8th place. I guess top 3 qualify into the next league. So 59th place is 3rd. They're currently at 40 with 8 games left to play. I don't think this season they're gonna be, you know, getting promoted. But next season is something to look at with his team. So this is kind of like a getting ready for next season, early preseason kind of thing, get to know the staff players, and then next season see what they can do. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see another ex-Chelsea player in earning their managerial stripes and all that. But all right, cool. Let me move on to the next one, guys. Just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, if you just joined us, smash a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel because it helps us out tremendously. We're trying to hit our 5K goal, so I'm going to be reminding you guys more often. So help us out with that big time. Thank you. So let's next topic here I have for you guys is
what type of ball is that in Cuckoo, man?
Premier League to Netflix, not Serie A to Netflix. Premier League to Netflix, my friend. So yeah, this is an interesting one, and I'm all for it. The Premier League wants to create a Netflix type streaming platform that will broadcast every game. £10 a month subscription, live across 188 countries. It's far less than the current $76 a month average you subscribe to Sky, TNT, and Amazon. Hold that, Chris. Yeah. Yeah, just hold it. The Premier League is to launch its own Netflix-style streaming service with live coverage of all 380 matches over a season, available only to fans in Singapore. At least for now, it seems like this is kind of like a beta test thing. Known as Premier League Plus, the new app will be launched before next season and will be the first time match coverage will be sold direct to consumers. Premier League CEO Richard Masters, from next season onward, from August, Premier League Plus is going to happen. For the first time, the Premier League is going to have its own customers. We're looking to build a business, but we're also looking to learn to see how that might be replicable around the world. My initial thoughts on this, just before you guys go. I like the idea. I think it's great. I didn't think it was likely to happen ever. I feel like we live now in a world where everything is subscription based and everyone wants to have a subscription, and they want to spread football so thin so everyone spends as much money as possible, like Chris, on Sky, on Amazon, on Paramount Plus, on Peacock, on all this stuff. Yeah, you should, because you're getting robbed, Chris. You're getting robbed, Chris, and I'm trying to look out for you, Chris, because you're my buddy, all right? All right, Chris? You know? I'm just trying to save you money, Chris. You, Why? Why would it hurt us, Chris? Go ahead.
No, never mind.
What do you mean, never mind? Well, Chris, what do you think about this one?
I mean, I wish it's the Premier League in actual England and we can watch it like for £10.
Hey, man, VPN. I'm not sponsored by any VPNs, but hey, VPN.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, Marshall, let's
that's
actually
great for them. That's
True.
To be honest, it's time to...
I bet you they get the 3 PM kickoffs and we still don't.
I wanted to say real quickly that firstly, this is never happening in the UK, the US, and all of the major markets. Let's just make that clear. The money that these guys get from all of these other subscription bases is too much for them to then just give you a $7.99 deal. It's impossible. Okay, let's just be honest. All right.
Wait, hold on. It's not impossible. It's just they choose not to do it.
No. It is impossible. The financial... Listen, Marshall, if I'm giving you $7.99 to watch an EPL game, yeah, and then, like, let's say how much subscription that's going to give you compared to how much you get per season, for example, from just Sky Sports, and the Sky Sports alone for the vast majority of the EPL games, right? Plus the money you get for a few games on Amazon and a few games that you're now going to get on TNT Sports. Yeah, that money that you get is far more valuable. Yeah, it's a lot. It's actually a lot more. Than what you're going to get from just doing your own version of League Pass. The thing is, I hear what EE is saying. The problem is the League Pass is not even used. League Pass, yes, it's used a lot in the US, but the thing is, if you have Peacock or all these other stuff now, you don't need League Pass. because again, your team is pretty much represented in terms of that point.
I was going to say also, it'd be the way they do it, right? So there's two things with this. Number one is, I think, like Ahmed said, I think how much we as consumers would have to pay is nuts. To give you an idea, an example, like that's kind of a crossover, is Apple with the MLS. Now,
Sure.
with that deal, I know because I bought this. You can do a couple of things. Number one is I think you can do obviously the monthly subscription, or you can do a yearly one. The yearly one is about 90 quid,
Sure.
which I did. I paid that. You get obviously then the year. Obviously, I don't know how much it is a month, but I did that. So you're asking people across the world, England, America, etc., to pay like 100 quid, let's say a year potentially, or whatever it is going to be a month, to watch this. People would, but that's what you're on one hand what you're considering. The second thing is, and this is I think the bigger issue. Do you know, Marshall, how much WWE paid for? Oh, sorry, Netflix paid for WWE.
Ooh.
That's probably a big deal.
It's a
How
bit-
many
it's-
years? Do we know how many years the contract is?
10 years.
10
years.
Oh Jesus. I'm gonna put it out there. 15 billion.
Oh, so wow. That would make
Ahmed, do you know?
Yeah, it's 5
Ahmed,
billion.
5
isn't it?
billion.
It's
yeah.
5 billion for
Oh,
10
I
years.
was somewhat close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
To put
Now-
that into perspective, Marshall,
Sure.
to put that into perspective, do you know how much? This is back in December 2023. Do you know how much Sky and TNT paid, or what the TV deal was for Sky and TNT for 270 live games a season? How much was paid?
I actually don't know that one.
I know how much that is roughly.
Is it 7 billion?
6.7 million pounds,
Wow.
which is the
I
equivalent.
thought it'd be near.
I worked it out, of 8.8 million US dollars. So you are talking a 90% increase on a TV deal for 1 year. Netflix don't do 1 year. They would have to buy like a 4-5 year deal for it to be worth it for them. So you are talking money that I don't think they're spending. You're talking millions, billions and billions and billions of dollars. You're talking 8 figures.
Marshall, I think you also need to realize, Now it's a good thing we use wrestling because I think wrestling is great. It's a great use of this,
Yeah, also wrestling is actually good.
I was going to say, yeah, I agree with this.
Yeah, like
It's brilliant.
let's use another
Most
one.
recent,
Let's use like for example like AEW for example, right? Now, obviously AEW has this American deal, but like it doesn't really have anything internationally, for example, right? So recently they've done a subscription-based system for like the rest of the international countries in general, right? Which is like $7.99, $14.99, something like that, right? Now, the reason you would initially do something like that, at least from that perspective, is that they want to get international media rights deals, right, with other subscription services. That's the reason why you do this, right? So some of the places, for example, that is happening in the Premier League, Singapore, for example, Singapore does may or may not, from what I know or from what I've heard, doesn't actually have like a dedicated sports channel. So then, how do you then watch it in Singapore? Like Indonesia,
actually, VPN or something.
You have to probably VPN it.
Piracy.
Shit. Yeah, let's
piracy.
not speak quiet. Indonesia actually is also another good example of this. Indonesia doesn't necessarily have like a dedicated thing, right? So Indonesia actually for years has had a Premier League app, by the way. I don't know if you know that. So they've had their own.
I could imagine because when I went to Mexico, all the Premier League games were on HBO Max, which I was like, "Whoa, this is interesting."
Yeah. So for like some of these countries, obviously, it's not necessarily there's no necessarily dedicated place for these things to happen. So you have to find somewhere for these things to be housed, whether it's your own version, whether everything like that. Because again, so that's how the things go in general. So like I just think for me, the money you're gonna leave on the table creating your own subscription service is too much. And again, we know what these guys' ownership is like, bro. We know what the Premier League is like. For them,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, right? Because I personally, I never foresaw something like this ever happening. Because from my perspective and from you guys' perspective as well, like we know the Premier League probably want to make as much money as possible. So the more deals you have, the more spread out you are. At least if you're just a Chelsea fan or an Arsenal fan, or you got to subscribe to this and that, it's convenient for them because they're making money off of the consumer, right? I think what I will say to that as well, just to counter argument a bit, is piracy has gone up a lot. Piracy has gone up a lot because, let's be honest, the economy around the world has just not been great. A lot of people are finding it harder and harder to afford all these subscriptions, and harder to, afford their day-to-day, consumption and finances, right? So Netflix, who as of prior to the last 2 years, I want to say, was essentially dying, right? The Squid Games resurrected Netflix. If there was no Squid Games, Netflix probably would be in the bin now. Like, I'm being so dead ass when I say that. So the platform was essentially dying because they started to up their prices. You could stop having people share accounts and all that stuff. Everyone had a friend who had a Netflix account and all this shit, right? So in order to combat piracy, one of the first things that happened to combat piracy back in the day was the introduction of Spotify or Steam, where you can get these services, games or music, for a relatively affordable price. Made it a lot easier to access. You expose yourself less to viruses and all these sketchy websites, and it made it more convenient for the everyday user. Now, fast forwarding to now, I think Netflix is trying to do what they did with WWE. Hey, we're going to buy this product that everyone seems to enjoy. It's going to bring people to the platform. Netflix has the money. There's no way they don't. They've been around for a long time. Maybe they're saying, okay, we're going to buy Premier League from NBC or whatever, or TNT and stuff in Singapore, try it out. And if it brings in a lot of revenue towards Netflix, we'll start to introduce it more and more. And they'll offer the money. They will offer the money. They have the money.
All right, so I'm going to hit you back with your Africa. You do realize, for example, the NBA, for example, a lot of piracy goes on for that. The NFL has a lot of piracy going on for that.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the onus of the Premier League. Yeah.
Sure.
To be able to combat piracy, that's not their job. It's a job of these online broadcasters, whether it be Netflix, Peacock, Sky Sports, to be able to handle that sort of thing and use the law to their own benefit. For them, they don't care about the consumer. They care about the bottom line, bro.
Of course.
And their bottom line is what matters, bro. And they don't care. Why would they care? I'm sorry, NBC. What do you want me to do? I'm just streaming the game. I'm giving you the broadcasting rights. It's up to you to deal with how you get your stuff broadcasted. For them, that's a government issue then. It becomes a government issue, talking to the government, stopping the fire sticks from happening, etc., etc., etc. For them...
There's that, but there's also, it's not... Because you're never going to get rid of it. Like, let's be real. You're never going to get rid of piracy. It's always going to be around. It's more of a, let's try to mitigate this as much as possible. Let's make it so easy.
You and I, what do we both watch together? Like, pretty much once a month on a Saturday. Saturday evening.
Wait, say that again? I'm sorry.
What do you and I, Marshall? What do you and I, Marshall, watch every Saturday evening, Marshall?
Oh, yeah, we're on the Discord, man.
You're on the Discord, like
we're
on 3
on the
a.m.
Discord.
But what is it that we watch? It's a once a month event.
Oh, UFC, yeah.
Right? UFC is they have done everything to combat piracy. They even shut down some of these websites. But guess what? It keeps popping up.
Yeah, but the problem, Ahmed, the point, what I'm trying to say, Ahmed, the point isn't to try to get rid of piracy, because you're not going to get rid of it.
I understand.
The point is to make it, everyone has a Paramount Plus. Everyone has a Paramount Plus. Because let's be honest, what's easier? $10 a month for Paramount Plus, or however, I don't know what the price, let's just say $20 a month, right? For Paramount Plus to watch UFC, all the UFCs I want and stuff. I already have the app. I already have an account. Boom. Just keep paying it. Or I have to pay $80 out of pocket just to watch one event every time it comes on. Plus, on top of it, I have ESPN Plus.
I don't know if I can give the right answer on stream. That's all I can say.
No, the right answer is what we do, but like, the
right answer is what we do.
But it's just when you make it easier for the people who aren't computer savvy, like the general public, the fans that they're trying to get into the Premier League. Because let's be honest, there's been a lot of new Premier League fans. Like, even there's been some few new faces in the chat and stuff. Like, fans come and go.
I hear you, Marshall.
Easy accessibility.
I hear you, but the reality also is that
sometimes
the man them don't want to pay that money. Sometimes
that's true. But that's not the people they're aiming for. That's what I'm telling you.
I don't think so, actually. I think now more than ever, I'm going to give this take out here. I think now more than ever, the sports fan is more savvier than ever. They know ways to watch stuff without them paying.
You give people in my country too much credit.
But I'm not even just talking about your country. Because my own country, bro. Everyone knows. Listen, before we used to do the online stuff, Everyone knew there's places, Shepherd's Bush, you know what I mean? Satellite box, you know what I mean? Just connected to a certain Arab channel, and you got all the fee. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to indicate the man doing his house, Shepherd's Bush, but if you know, you know. That's it. That's all you have to go. That used to be the way. It's funny I mentioned that, but satellite boxes used to be the way. By the way, before
That's true.
That's right. Because listen, if you're like someone from an immigrant family, the only way to watch your channels was by satellite TV.
We had those black boxes. I remember.
Yes,
those,
right. 100 quid. It used to literally cost you 100 quid, and they used to last you basically for like a whole year, right? And you could basically watch everything you wanted sports-wise.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get a new one every new year, basically, because like the sports channels would realize essentially. But the point I make of those boxes is that this has been something that's been happening since the mid 2000s, bro.
Yeah.
And it's only gotten stronger since. The guys have gotten stronger since. You can mitigate, give them 12-year sentences.
Sure.
But I'll be honest, lads, it's gonna keep coming because also the Netflix subscriptions are quite high in general, as you know, Marshall.
They're expensive. Netflix is
Right?
not cheap.
Paramount, man, listen, don't you
Paramount,
worry.
I don't think it's cheap either. Let me look at
Paramount
Paramount
next
How much
year.
Paramount at?
Listen, Paramount in the UK is actually really cheap. They're like £3-4 basically right now. But I promise you, come next year,
$9 a month. Okay.
right? Come next year, once the deal was basically done with HBO Max, we getting $20 a month. I promise you, right? That's what's gonna happen soon. So these subscriptions in general are also gonna increase the price. Is this a factual reality of the matter, Marshall?
Yeah. What do you guys think? The rest of the panel.
I was muted. I don't see how it's.
Speechless.
I just don't see how
Go
it's
ahead,
feasible, like to do going forward. Personally, I
think there's going to be a lot of things blocking it from happening because I don't think it's in the best interest of the higher ups here. Go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, 100%. I agree. Like, I don't see how it's feasible to do, going forward. Like, because you're gonna either miss out on like the Premier League, and the teams are gonna miss out on money, or like it's just gonna be too expensive for Netflix. I think. I also don't know how because part of the thing I was gonna say earlier is part of the thing that they do with like WWE, from like just watch because I don't watch weekly TV. I just watch the pay-per-views.
Sure.
The adverts are so fucking irritating. And it's like,
oh yeah, true.
Oh my
and
god!
so it's like,
Can
if
you
you have-
imagine a
the
5-minute ads of like?
I was gonna say you have a. So I don't know if it is for everyone, but like in the UK, you have multiple different levels. You have a basic level of Netflix which has ads in it. Like I'm being so real.
true.
If I every 10 minutes in my game, a game is 90 minutes. If every 10 fucking minutes I'm having to watch a minute ad, so I'm missing
Of
like
elevator music
potentially-
and
I'm potentially missing like 10 minutes of a game across the whole game from ads. I'm throwing my
They're probably
laptop out the window.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, Marshall. Yeah, if I have to watch 5 minutes for ads here of just watching some Enzo Fernandez
During the
doing
Premier
some
League?
random- doing
like,
some
They would be
doing
smarter
some
about
random-
it. They would
Chris
do
knows
what the
I'm
zone
talking
did,
about.
pretty much.
Chris knows what I'm talking about. You know,
yeah,
Chris,
Marshall
the little.
knows,
No.
he said he would laugh.
He will laugh.
No.
Him doing like a random celebration. You know what I mean?
No, I don't
Chelsea
think it's
just
gonna be that in
conceding
your
get
face
that.
or that obtrusive. Like
I would
don't
actually
think-
punch someone in the face.
They'll find a way to do it differently, because that you're not gonna.
I
They'll
mean,
probably
when we go
like
to
mute the
halftime
stream
breaks,
and have
that's
something in the
enough.
bottom say, "Hey, sign up for fucking I don't know Ozempic, whatever the fuck, whatever ad you want to put there." I don't think it'd be as like interrupt the game just to show a full screen ad. That'd be crazy. That'd be insane. I haven't seen that on American television. When it happens, I'll report back. But yeah, any other thoughts on this whole Premier League to Netflix thing? I guess we're gonna have to wait and see.
I've got one more thing to add on. I'm going to bring it again to the wrestling comparison because like one of the ideas here is that they create their own like direct to consumer service, and that's what WWE had for I want to say about maybe 7-8 years with the WWE network. It was a direct to consumer service.
Sure.
Once it gets big enough, once it gets big enough and lucrative enough, they'll just sell it. WWE sold theirs to Peacock. They sold their whole library and all their like live broadcast to Peacock, like with their pay-per-view broadcast. So even if there was in some magical world this affordable model, it's eventually going to become a product for sale.
Yeah, probably. I
So
think that's
all
probably
roads
the
lead
idea
to one
of going
place.
Netflix, right? That's probably the idea to go to Netflix, right? Because you don't have to build your own subscription platform from scratch. At least Netflix has a reputation, and most people already have it.
Well, that just cuts out the middleman of making your own. In effect, yeah.
Yeah. I just don't like. I think it's cool that Singapore is doing that, or not even Singapore, but the Premier League is doing that at Singapore. I just don't. I think best interests are going to get in the way and try to prevent it from happening broadly, because it would be really convenient for me. I would love to just watch all Premier League games from one app instead of having. I think there was a point too when the peak. I think there was a point too where, like, when it was on Peacock, there were some games that were on NBC, which is actual cable television, and some games that were only available on Peacock, and the television games would be aired on Peacock afterwards as a replay, which I thought was really, really annoying. So even splitting the games up would be better.
But Marshall, we know this is never gonna happen because it's just financially.
I'm just saying, like, it's cool.
Marshall, how many subscriptions do you think the Premier League can get worldwide if it just did this worldwide right now? And let's say it was for the average game, plus because plus limited ads essentially, because I have to do limited ad. It'll be before the game, half time, and maybe after the game, right? How much for $17.99? How many people do you think they can attract worldwide? It will be like, let's say it's around about $7.99.
Let me put some hypotheticals out there. Let's just say Sky Sports right now. If you were to ask people what their use for Sky Sports is, let's just say 1 million. 1 million Sky Sports subscribers, their only purpose of subscribing to Sky Sports is for Premier League. I think when you introduce a Premier League to Netflix, I think that number the following year after the release of Netflix would probably at least be half. 500,000 out of a million.
I don't think you understand what I'm talking about. They make their own service. It's not Netflix. It's the EPL. It's just called.
But that's not what's happening though.
That's what's happening for things.
That's what's happening in Singapore.
That's what's happening in Singapore. It's their own thing. It's the Premier League's own thing. They're
making an app called Premier League Plus.
It's called Premier League Plus, bro. It's their own thing, Marshall.
Oh,
that's why they call it.
Stance.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's the Premier League.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt the revenue of everyone else's streams, pretty much. So I think it will work. It will be successful, but I just don't think it'll happen because other interested parties are gonna prevent it.
No.
I agree with you essentially.
No. The reason I'm actually disagreeing with you here. I'm saying to you is the Premier League did its own thing of $7.99 and of the number of millions that it can probably attract. I don't think it's gonna even. I think the money that you can get for that is probably gonna be at minimum maybe 50% of what you can get overall. That's the point I'm making. I don't even think they'll make enough money from just being their own app, Marshall. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, you know what? I misread this then. It's not going to Netflix. They're going to do a Netflix-like thing. Okay. I misread it. So it goes back to what Oliver was saying. Never mind. Yeah. So they could eventually sell it to another one. We'll see. I mean, it's a way for them to make their own money too, right? So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting one to see happen and how it expands. But, hey, it's starting in Singapore. And then
they'd have to balance it. To make money, to make their own money, they'd have to balance it, though, because the broadcasters, Sky, TNT, they're paying to put this thing on their stuff.
Yeah, but it's a contract, right? And if that contract runs out and they have to renew, they can choose not to, and it goes from there. It'll be interesting.
Well, yeah, they can choose not to, but they might just come back one day with the right amount of money, and then it reverts back to type.
Well, let's move on to the next topic. I wanted to bring up Roman. Roman's back in headlines, and there's a bit of news going in regards to the whole money situation that he's owed. So Chelsea's owners may have to put a big chunk of money to Roman Abramovich next May. The balance of £150 million to cover the liabilities held back from the £2.5 billion purchase price will have to be paid out at the end of May 2027, less deductions for financial sanctions incurred by the club for events that happened before the takeover. So Blueco might owe Abramovich £150 million, and also adding on to that, Roman Abramovich's lawyers have warned the government that the £2.35 billion Chelsea proceeds are wholly his right to confiscation efforts. So he's going to fight to get that money back that we talked about briefly some time ago, that the UK didn't want to give back, that they won apparently the money. So Nazar Kinsella came out with this. New accounts posted for 30th of June 2023 show Roman Abramovich's company Fordstrom made £62.9 million in interest. 1.2 million has also been spent in fees to put in place the structure to donate proceeds of the sale of Casually FC to a charitable foundation. Overall, there is now 2.4 billion pounds in restricted bank accounts with the 150 million pound holdback amount for the sale of Blueco described as unlikely to be recovered. I don't know how serious this could potentially get. I don't know if Roman really has a chance to win against the UK government and get his money back. And I don't know how much of a big deal this is for Chelsea themselves to have to pay back 1.2 million. I think they could probably have, well, they might have money set aside for that purpose with the whole the 74 charges, we were expecting a fee and stuff like that they spoke about a few months ago. But yeah, what are our thoughts on this, all this Roman suing Romontada?
Okay. I'm not really sure what Roman's play here is, because one of the main when obviously their club obviously got sold and everything like that, one part of the agreement, even with Roman at the time, was that we're gonna send this to a charitable foundation, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Am I lying? Right. So
no, you're right.
Right. So the problem now becomes why is Roman changing his mind? Is it just that he just wants to use the money now for his own gain? Because for me, that's what it kind of seems like right now. By the way,
obviously we don't actually know, like, because I'll answer this way, Ahmed. So obviously we don't know because we're not in and around like Roman Abramovich's circle, and we're not in his ear. But from my perspective, you have if we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt here, you have to read between the lines. He says a charitable foundation for broadly the victims of the Ukraine conflict. The UK government want to send it all just to Ukraine. So there's an implication that some of it could go to like.
No. So
that's what I'm trying to say, Chris. The UK want it all to go to Ukraine.
So from what I'm understanding, at the very least, I thought the UK was saying they were just going to send it to charitable Ukrainian foundations. Wasn't that the whole thing? They weren't just going
to just to Ukraine, Ukraine.
But like the thing is, I'm pretty sure he has to understand, right? We are never giving money to Russia. Like, why does he think that's going to happen? Like,
that's why he's saying it's his money, because he knows the UK won't do that.
And I understand that. Right? No, I'm not. I understand that. No. The reason why they froze it was because they were freezing it to then give to the charity. But then obviously he's disagreeing with that fact. And then the problem for me becomes if I'm Roman, I know it's not going to go to the Russians. So for me, is this just a play then just to get the money itself? Because that's what it feels like to me, at the very least, at this point. Like, I know I might be seeing this as a bit more of a cynical thing, but I just think that's probably what's happening right now.
I mean, it could be. I'm not denying that. Like, again, we're not in and around his circle, so...
Exactly, yeah. Because, like, I feel like it's either what you're saying, obviously, Oliver, or what I'm saying, if that makes sense. Like, it's just going to be one of those two for me.
Well, I can see it being frozen for a very long time. Because I don't think they can actually just...
yeah, that's the thing. I kind of sit on the fence with this, because you can't really lean either way without there being major problems. All I'm going to say is I can't accept that the UK government is taking any kind of moral stance here, because they are morally bankrupt. So, like, if you see the stuff they're doing recently, so, you know. But that's the only thing I'll say on that.
I hear what you're saying. I just think, for me, from what I've understood, is that they just want it to be, they obviously they clearly want it to go to the US. What's it called? To the not the US, but just Ukraine. He clearly said, I want it to go to Ukraine and Russia. We all know if we even did that in any other of the European countries, that would not be accepted, objectively speaking. If we just look at facts. So if he's suing this, it has to be based on the reason that I want it to go to both. But from reading from what we are seeing right now, he is saying this is my money and I want to do whatever I want to do with it, essentially, as well. Which is where, for me, the confusion becomes. But I don't know what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, him saying it's his money is only an implication that he wants to send it to both. It's not an expression of that. So he could just bank it. You know, we don't know.
Yeah. Actually, now that I read it, the Telegraph says the Chelsea proceeds are wholly his and he is ready to fight. So if he is saying that...
that's what I'm saying. If he's saying, if he's just wholly his, then we got to be a bit cynical on that one. He's saying, I just want the peace. Maybe, you know, the wars have been affecting his pocket, which is not a surprise to us either.
Yeah. Also says here, 1.2 million pounds has also been spent in fees to put in place the structure to donate the proceeds of the sale. So
that's where I kind of give him a bit of the benefit of the doubt, because money has been spent towards this.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but that money's been spent from the actual fund, isn't it? That's what they're saying. They're saying
that I don't know.
Yeah, so no, that's what he's saying. They've actually spent the funds, right, to prepare it to go to these things now, to these charities right now. But again, he's saying, no, I don't want this to happen. That is the whole. That's where the problem's becoming, right? Because you need both keys to unlock the door, essentially.
Plus 150 he got for the whole sale to the setting up and all that. Like, I guess it was like a I don't know, security freaking fee, 150 million holdback amount. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see where it goes. Cause after that Telegraph comment comes out, now I'm thinking, like, is this actually for Ukraine or what are we doing for this? Cause that was a whole fiasco. That was a whole fight over all this, and I don't know. Cause I didn't even know you were here, Prime. You were just muted the whole time. Okay.
I thought you added me in.
I did, and I was like, he's not talked since he's come on. I don't even
We
know
didn't
if
hear
he's
him,
here. Yeah.
Oh, because I wasn't asked about anything, so I just let you guys talk.
No, all right. Well, open to the panel. So with the Roman stuff, this is now looking like it's gonna start, ramping up, and we might start seeing more news in regards to this, probably in the summer, I bet. But I'm kind of on the fence about it too now, where it's like, where's this money actually going to go now? Because it was all about charity before, and now it seems that it's more about it's 2.4 billion, I should say, that you guys are not giving me to use. So let me get that back, which I also don't blame him for that. But final thoughts before we go on to some other changes in world football. All right, cool. Let's go on. Tuchel out. All right, cool. Whatever. Speaking of Tuchel out, Club World Cup expansion. So, the haters gonna hate. They all want to talk their shit and say, "Oh yeah, you guys won a preseason cup and all that." Well,
because too young, because not experience, and unfortunately for them, they have been all wrong. All the ones that they have the truth and they have the answer for everything. So in English, I would say F off to all of them.
Well, yeah, all these teams that were barking and crying about not being in Club World Cup, and then all of a sudden they see it happen and they're like, we want to be involved. This isn't a preseason trophy, all this bullshit. UEFA is ready to back FIFA's... What happened?
It is a preseason trophy. I mean, I thought that
it's a trophy that's won in the preseason, not to be mistaken for a Tiger Cup or an Audi
it's
Summer
before
League.
the preseason, actually, because the preseason doesn't happen when the
Let's just say, man, this midweek showed that it was a preseason trophy, man. That's what I have to say.
It's after the season.
So UEFA is ready to back FIFA's proposed expansion of the Club World Cup to 48 teams for the next edition. Spain and Morocco are favorites to host the next Club World Cup. And then, breaking from The Guardian as well, the Club World Cup will be modified to go from 32 teams to 48 teams in the next edition. This is due to the pressure from elite European clubs that are left out, like Barcelona and Manchester United.
Manchester? Elite today? No.
Where? Just where? Every time.
Chris, we're not speaking from a position of strength right now.
Oh, yeah, I know we're shit too, but like...
Jesus, they're
yeah, they're going to finish above us.
No, I'm talking about trophies. What's Man United done since Alex Ferguson, by the way?
When I saw this news come out, like last month, I was seeing that it was Barca and Arsenal putting pressure to expand it. Or Barca Arsenal or Barca Liverpool. One of those. Well, yeah, regardless of it, it makes sense that they're expanding it. A lot of these elite teams.
Well, the Liverpool pundits were doing pressure in the media over it.
Yeah, and listen, fans can say whatever they want, but the clubs that participated took it seriously. You saw the way, like, City fans were heartbroken, the way Real Madrid players reacted, PSG were fighting us after the game. Like, these guys care. The prize money is huge, and this Club World Cup thing is going to just become bigger and bigger. So it makes sense that they're expanding it. And it also makes sense that the winners of the tournament, it also makes sense that the winners of the tournament will be able to come back and defend it. I told people this when we won it, we're going to come back and defend our trophy. It won't matter if we don't win Champions League again in the next 4 years, which we're not going to do anyway because of this own.
I was going to say, who is not going to be in it? So, like,
wait, but they're talking about bringing us back as defending champions.
Yeah, defending champions, yeah.
Yeah, so
great. Well, we're not going to win it again.
Might also include us being.
Oh my goodness!
Well, we're not going to win it, so who cares?
Coming from you, that's why.
Oh, sorry, no, it's all good and good, bro. You just, I'm just gonna be
listening
honest,
to like
mate.
Evanescence or some shit. Jesus Christ.
No, I was gonna keep it real. No, I wasn't actually. But I just want to just make it clear. I don't give a shit about this cup. This cup is literally worth zilch.
Why don't you care about it? Can you tell me why instead of just saying pre-season trophy?
Because we're about to finish outside the Champions League and we're the first winners. It devalues the trophy.
No, but okay, cool. But I'm talking about before, like this season. I'm talking about before. We was in top 4.
No, but Chris, we're talking about now. We're talking about right now how this trophy is.
Why does Armin not like it?
Oh, fair enough. I think the reason why I've never liked it is just that I think it's a waste of time. It causes a lot of caused us a lot of problems now in the medium to long term now, as you can see, right, of the season in terms of not only just injuries, fatigue, and the way the players are in their current state. I just feel like the only reason why this competition exists genuinely is just for more money. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think I'm gonna be one of the few guys to ever say this. Maybe we don't need too much money. Maybe we got too much. We don't need
care
it,
about
bro.
the money too much about it, but like,
because the whole point of this competition.
If I was going to scrap a competition, I'm scrapping the Carabao Cup for me.
I hear
not for the smaller clubs.
Yeah, but the Carabao Cup only affects English teams. But cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Ahmed. But this ownership needs money because they keep wasting money in window.
You know what? I think we need to start getting skin. It's time to become skin.
You're just feeding into the loop, though.
You know what I mean? It's time. You know what it is? No, we don't need to be bankrupt. Listen, not bankrupt. But I think sometimes, guys, it's time to feel like what. You know what it is? Oliver, I'm gonna use a great example here. It's time for them to feel like, what happens when you're in the welfare state and you have to go to the jump center on Fridays, bro. I think the club needs to feel that pain right now.
Wait, Ahmed, are you saying we need to go on universal credit?
Is that what to go UC, bro?
There needs to be a humbling of sorts. There needs to be a humbling of sorts because the more money they get, the more kittens and garnachos they'll buy, the more delaps they'll buy. Because they're not forced to spend their money wisely.
What's the American equivalent of job seeker?
I don't know, what, food stamps or something like that? I don't know. What would that be, Marshall?
Wait, food stamps is for food. For people.
Marshall, what is it when you don't have a job but you need to assist on welfare? What is it called?
Oh, unemployment.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Unemployment welfare too. Yeah, true. That's another one.
Yeah, well,
but
we
do you get money? You know you get money from like the government. The government gives you money.
Yeah,
I think that's welfare. Yeah.
Yeah,
welfare. You get that, like once a month or something.
Maybe. I don't. I actually don't know anything about welfare. I've never been that poor.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
food
this
stamps, I'll tell you that.
But this is what I'm saying, Marshall.
You're rich. We got.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, Marshall. The club. I think we need to go welfare, Marshall. I don't know what they call it in Canada. CP can help us with that, but that's what we need right now, bro.
What do we need?
I'm surprised Rich Ahmed.
We need a welfare state. We need a welfare state.
I'm surprised Rich Ahmed knows.
Brother, you're a brother. Norway, Scandinavia. Come on, welfare state right there. Why are we going up to Canada?
Listen, I've never been to Norway actually.
Ahmed don't play in snow.
I've been to Sweden and Denmark, but not Norway.
He's played in the snow then. He's played in the snow. Right, no
He plays in snow. Yes.
Oh my god, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I think as much as me and Ahmed have had a back and forth about this already. We agree to disagree. In terms of the Club World Cup, I think give it a decade or two, it will eventually be recognized as a big major trophy. Arguably, maybe, depending on how well it's run and how successful it continues to be and expand from its
I'm going to be honest.
It could be bigger than Champions League.
It will never be bigger than Champions League. That's stupid. But I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with Ahmed about everything when it comes to Club World Cup. The one thing I do agree with is about the causing problems, and this is where I disagree with the extending thing. They are going to, but you should not be extending the Club World Cup in terms of the amount of teams, because you're going to make it so a season ends, teams get about a week off, and then go into the Club World Cup. They finish, have about a week off, and go into next season. You are going to literally destroy players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know they don't care. I know they don't give a shit. But I'm saying this is what's going to happen. You are going to physically run players into the ground. You're going to have players
the
who
quality of football
are
around the world is going to drop pretty much.
Yeah.
Not even that. Not even that.
Right.
It's not the quality. You are going to take guys who are in their mid-20s, in their 25, 26, who are cooked physically, who are multiple injuries, cooked. That's what you're going to do. You're going to cook guys.
You're running players into the ground, but also from a perceived aspect of things, I don't think expanding it is the best thing in the world to do. If you want to keep this if you want to build the
prestige,
the spectacle and prestige of this tournament, expanding it so more teams can be in it doesn't make sense. Keep to the rules of it, where you have to be a Champions League winner in the last 4 years, or have the highest coefficient in your country. That makes sense, because look at the last Club World Cup, having Palmeiras got to the semi-finals. We lost to Flamengo in the group stages. Seeing these teams, that Tunis team from Tunisia that went in and played, and they looked really good. Seeing teams from all over the world that have no eyes on them getting a chance to actually shine. If you expand the competition, I don't think that makes it a good thing just so that Barca and Liverpool can be in it. No.
But this is
expansion.
But this is the trend we're going on, and we even saw this with the Club World Cup that just happened. They let Inter Miami into it just because Lionel Messi had to be there. It's not about merit.
They tried to do that for. Didn't they try to do that for Ronaldo too? That whole transfer to Al Hilal so that he could play.
I'm not too sure, but maybe it is.
It's. I don't know. I just think on the one, what Scott is saying is right about the fitness issues for players, but also for the prestige level of it, expanding it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't like that.
I don't disagree. I think people need to understand. I feel like there comes a point with fans that sometimes they choose to ignore the facts. There's a reason we're in there. It's not based off how we did the league. Because I remember the Liverpool fans are crying the most. Because, how can you not have the English Premier League winners? Because you didn't fucking win anything in Europe. It's not based on domestic form. It's based on what you do in Europe. Arsenal fans too, crying about how are we not in there? We're one of the best teams in the Prem. It's cool, but you're not one of the best teams in Europe. Well, now you probably are. But in the time of speaking, when you look at the coefficients and what Chelsea actually did in the 4 years that they were taking the coefficients in relation to this, Chelsea had won a UCL. That's the best thing you can do in Europe. Yeah, you won a UCL. And on top of that, they won a conference league. Didn't do much for the coefficient, but they still won European trophies.
The last World Cup, no one complained that Italy wasn't there. Italy won the Euros in 21. No one complained Italy weren't at the World Cup because you didn't qualify for it. Like it is what it is. Like just qualify for the tournament and then go win.
Marshall, the problem with the qualifying criteria and like with what you said there is that it works for some teams like us and Manchester City who have won Champions League recently. It doesn't work for other teams like I think Atletico Madrid were in it. They haven't won the Champions League recently. There are many examples.
Yeah, but again, it's the team. You have to have the highest coefficient in your country.
No, just in Europe.
Unless you're a Champions League winner. So because Chelsea and City both won it, we both qualified. But
that's the thing. I think there is an argument to say that you're rewarding coefficient over trophies.
No, it's not rewarding.
But it has to be Europe.
No, it's not rewarding.
If you win it, you get it no matter what.
You need to have a Champions League winner. If you don't, then they look at your coefficient.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, to an extent,
no,
you look at
they
it too,
don't.
Oliver.
What?
No, you don't need to, as well. It's a Champions League winner of the last 4 years, and then after that, it then looks at coefficient across Europe. But then the problem is there's only a certain amount of teams that can qualify from each nation. That's why Liverpool are not in it. No, it was either Liverpool or Arsenal. The reason why they didn't get in it was because there was too many teams from England already qualified. Because we qualified and City qualified for winning the what's it called?
It was just the two of us.
Yeah.
For the Champions League.
Yeah.
And I think yes, so that was it. You can only have two clubs from each country in the competition. That's why Barca didn't make it as well. Because their coefficient, because they had 2 years where they got knocked out in the Champions League qualifiers and then got knocked out of the Europa League by United. Because of that, their coefficient was shit.
Big up.
But that makes sense though. That's part of how you qualify. Instead of complaining about the qualification
Let's have
process.
it right.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, Ahmed's a brown. No, we know Ahmed's a brown envelope.
Yeah, we know. We've acknowledged
Mr.
Ahmed's been getting the brown envelopes for a minute
Yeah,
now.
man. He's literally brown. Anyways, instead of
Oh my god, bro!
Am I wrong?
Go ahead. Fine, finish what you're saying.
Instead of complaining about the how to qualify for it,
Qualify for it.
Yeah, it's not
Exactly.
like
There's two leagues now. Like there's the Premier League and now there's the Champions League, where it's actually a league table. So you have to do well in Europe, in Europe's league. Like it's pretty simple. Okay, if we don't real quick before you go Prime, if they don't honor the champion should be already automatically qualified for the next thing, then I won't be upset if we're not in the next one. Why? Because we've been shit in Europe. Other than Conference League, we've just been shit in Europe. So it's like I'm not gonna get mad about it. We didn't qualify. So it's the same rule for everyone. It applies to everyone. Do good in Europe and maybe you'll qualify.
Do they not only look at your Champions League coefficient, right?
No, it's European
coefficient.
Yeah.
It's European coefficient, but Champions League it's all weighted differently. So like I think for a win, I think for a win you get 0.5 points in the conference, 1 point in the Europa, and 1.5 points in the Champions League. So the Champions League is just weighted higher.
So if Chelsea win the Europa the next 4 years, we can go. If we win 2 Europas.
Maybe if the rest of the Premier League do shit in Europe.
That is so dumb. But okay, so if it's two per each country,
and Spurs have more of an argument when you think about it, Prime.
Yeah. I don't want League One Spurs going to the Club World Cup.
They might because of the rules.
Well, regardless, if there's only two per country, and we've already qualified for the next one, does that mean there's only one spot left in England?
That's the part where it gets tricky because they might still give you a spot, 2 spots.
I don't know. I think they give you an extra spot.
Yeah, I think they would give you an extra spot.
Cool. Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It would make sense that way.
It'll be interesting with Garnacho left wing in the Club World Cup.
If
I guess that's here
by then, I don't know, man. But yeah, I like the Club World Cup in the summer. I understand the pros and cons of it. I get it, but yeah, man, it'll be interesting to watch it.
I think, however, listen, if you want to expand it, don't expand it for the top 5 teams in Europe. Expand it for the South American leagues.
Oh yeah, for the whole
or the Asian leagues, so they can get more money. Let them get more money by having more teams from those leagues qualify for it. Don't just bring it so that Liverpool and Arsenal can qualify even though they don't win the Champions League in 4 years. I don't like that.
Can I ask a question? Why have we spent so long on the Club World Cup? Like, this is like a shit topic. I'll be honest with you.
All right, I can move on to the next thing. You want to move on to the next thing, Ahmed Dino?
Yes, please. Yes,
All right,
please,
let's
thank
move
you.
on to the next thing. I get you.
All right, man. Listen,
No
Marshall's
worries. We got plenty to talk
getting
about. Brian,
paid.
no worries.
Marshall's getting paid by the MAH Brown Envelope money.
The Ahmed envelope.
You know, I can't like. Listen, man. All I'm saying, man, I got a good 15K from the Brown Envelopes on Friday. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to the-
All right, that's nice.
Let's
Good for
go.
you. Good for you.
And the bread.
Unfortunately, Bartle's got blackmail on me, so I've had to give him 2K of the cut.
All right,
Ahmed, don't be
I'll be
selfish.
waiting for that. And my Reece James kit with no sponsorship.
Ahmed, put the man to man, bro. Don't be selfish.
All right, let's go on to some rule changes that happened. So this is something I think for the best. Players will be booked for covering their mouths under potential law change hastened by the alleged abuse of Vinicius Jr. A ban looks set to be in place in time for the World Cup. Also, breaking, according to the BBC, corner kicks and second yellow cards will be added to VAR this World Cup, which I'm actually for it. I'm actually for it. The second yellow I'm for. The Premier League is likely to opt out of the new law changes, which would allow VAR to assess whether a corner should be awarded. Breaking as well, from 2026 to 2027 season, teams that delay restarts will lose possession. Goal kicks will be turned into corners, throw-ins awarded to the opposition, and if substituted player takes more than 10 seconds to leave the pitch, his replacement must wait, meaning his team plays with 10 men for 60 seconds or until the ball goes out. And the last thing that they're looking to add, and they're putting a lot out there. We'll see how much actually is in effect next season. But breaking, the FA wants to trial a coach's challenge for subjective VAR calls. Managers would get 2 unsuccessful challenges per match on fouls or handballs. And I believe if this is to go the way I'm thinking it's going to go, after the 2 unsuccessful challenges, you don't have a right to challenge any calls. I'm assuming if one of your challenges is successful, you keep your remaining 2 unsuccessful challenges or 1 unsuccessful challenge.
Seems to be the case, yeah.
For the remainder of the game. A lot of changes there, and I already heard moaning and groaning for the corners and yellows. I don't mind the yellow ones because sometimes I see some of these fouls that are not fouls that VAR should overturn and not, players shouldn't be sent off for
this
that.
is what I have
The
to
corners
say
is too
something.
long. I agree that.
No, this is what I have to say. We are overcomplicating the game. Again,
Yep.
we're overcomplicating the game. Again, the flow of the game is just... We're losing, actually... Like, one of the main criticisms there that I've had about VAR is that we're stopping the flow of football. Everything's taking too long. One of the main things about football is that it's not... Yes, there's stop and starts for like free kicks and corners and stuff like that. But in general, it's a flowing game. Right, it's meant to flow. The referee doesn't need to do too much every now and then. Yes, call a foul here and there, but it's meant to flow, bro. These sort of things, bro, just further into the game, make the games longer, bro. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if games start lasting 2 hours, bro. Because that's what it's basically been lasting for us for the last few years, bro. 2-hour games is basically what we've been getting.
Didn't they do that last World Cup?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
did. They did a more accurate stoppage time.
Did it like 13 minutes.
Weren't games like 100 minutes?
Yep, 13 minutes,
Yeah,
14 minutes at a time, yeah. And so, for me, I just think a lot of the stuff we're adding is just overcomplicating the situation, guys. And this is where, this is why, when you have too much money on the line in some of these competitions, bro, or some of these things in general, this is what it causes. So, where you have to be super, super, super correct. This is too much, bro.
No, but this is, they're doing this to, in theory, this is supposed to stop teams from killing the flow of the game and wasting time. So in theory, I guess, but because of how dumb humans are, in practice, this is just going to be a pain to watch.
I think it's too much change too quickly, to be honest. I think it's too much. You could have implemented one of these to try in the World Cup, and then fine, and then try to implement the other ones. You have now, because, okay, I'm not trying to be sympathetic to refereeing in the UK, but have you guys noticed that when you listen to these refs talk on their headsets, they're talking in almost directing the flow of traffic the entire game, plus, being able to run for full 90 minutes and all that. I'm sure there's a part of it that is a lot of mental fatigue to be a referee at the highest level. That yes, you get caught off guard and you make mistakes, and yeah, I understand that to an extent. I think a lot of it's incompetence, which we've talked about, but I think to an extent, you are adding a element of mental exhaustion to the game for the referees. Now you're telling them, okay, now you got to check corner kicks, now you got to check yellow cards. Also, if a player's delaying too much, you have to do a throw in. If it's a goalkeeper, it becomes a corner. All like that's too much. That is way too much. Like, get a few things right first, and then we can go into this because I think the corner kicks is over the top. But if you really do want to implement it in a way that I think would work and not interfere with the flow of the game, you can do like we do for fouls now. The game continues, the play goes on. It could even go out of play as VAR is checking, and then once the VAR call is made, they could revisit it and say, listen, there was a contentious call here, whatever, let's revisit this. Or even if it's like a corner, you know, you take the corner assuming the call is right. The corner gets taken, you score, but you find out it was not their corner to begin with, and it's a goal kick. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about that in general. The yellow cards thing I'm all in favor for.
What, like letting the play
continue until the right decision is made.
They actually did that. So not last AFCON, 2 AFCONs ago, they actually did that with VAR. They would let the phase of play end and then check the incident.
They did that with the PL. They used to do that with the PL.
Yeah. I remember
I
they
feel
did
like
that.
They just did it in our game where they were checking Cole's little penalty incident.
Yeah, I remember they did that in. Funny enough, the incident I remember, the semi-final, Nigeria played against South Africa. We scored a goal. We scored the winner, quote unquote. But because there was, we had fouled one of their players in the actual build-up to the counter attack to the goal. Goal got chalked off. But in that instance, there was a direct end to the phase of play, meaning the goal. How long is a phase of play? If there's a foul and then the ball doesn't go out of play for another, like, say, 3 minutes, how long can you pull back said phase of play for the foul? Or for the yellow card incident or the red card incident or whatever? How long can you pull back that phase of play? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's where you got to have like a certain rule and discretion. And if VAR can't, this is where the clear and obvious error thing comes into play. If VAR can't figure it out quickly enough, then it's not clear and obvious. The call on the pitch is fine. We're long past that play now. If it's quick and obvious, then you can make the call pretty quick before the other corner is kicked or whatever.
Oh, so you're saying they should do the VAR process while the play is still happening?
If they're going to do it, then yes. Because I think stopping the play every time a contentious corner is given is ridiculous. Like, I think that would take too long. Let the corner go based on what the referee on the ground is saying. And if it's, if while the corner is being taken, a goal is scored or it goes to possession, then if it goes to the other team's possession, then you give them the right of way or whatever. Keep the play going, or you stop the play, you take back the goal, and it's a goal kick. It makes it so that the game still flows. As for the yellows, obviously, I feel like sometimes the referees make horrible second decisions for yellows. Sometimes, and you can make the argument too, like letting the play go out. That's how players get injured. It has happened. That is the other side of the argument. I understand that. What do you guys feel about the booking if you cover your mouth thing? Because I understand where it's coming from. I also feel it can be a little too harsh.
It's amazing in principle, but how do you enforce that?
Exactly.
They're only doing this because there needs to be a quote-unquote response for what Prestiani did. And they banned him for the second leg because they knew he'd get targeted in the second leg.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just dumb. This is not going to stop racial abuse.
No,
this is not going to do any. This is just dumb. It's pandering. It's not going to do anything.
I get where it's coming from, obviously, because they can't necessarily say he said what he said because they can't read his lips. But from a strategical point of view, too, from the game standpoint, you don't want to be able to lip read what the player's saying if it's like a set piece strategy or something like that, and someone can translate that. Like, I get that too.
That's the thing. It's not enforceable.
Well, players cover their mouths all the time. Maybe not with their shirt.
Part of it is also that part of it. If you don't want to do the thing, what's it called? like if
The
if
shirt
a
you
player-
cover it with your mouth, yeah.
Yeah, so like I think the problem is if you do like this, for example, like and it's let's say it's half time, do you have to book a player then, right? If it's like for example that per player they're talking to, they understand what's going on, like we're gonna book with players then as well, right? Like I understand obviously there was a necessary need for what happened to Prestiani, but the problem is, guys, also when we're dealing with situations of like alleged racism or any form of discrimination, guys, yeah. Reality is sometimes, bro, these guys it's gonna be a 1v1 conversation. No one's gonna be able to hear you sometimes. Even with the case of Vinicius, bro. I think there's a few guys that next to him. Only Mbappe was the one that said I heard it too.
Yeah.
Right. So the problem always becomes with cases like that. You need. I hate to say it like this because you need more than one person. You need a lot of evidence for this to work. Essentially.
Yeah, but even still, with
You need witness testimonies, yeah.
But there was witness testimonies there. But even still, these guys still don't care. They're not gonna do anything to make real change. So this covering your mouth stuff sounds great. It sounds great. But over the past 2 weeks, I've seen players covering their mouth. What now? What does that mean? Like, who cares? They're not. This doesn't change or do anything, and this can't be enforced. You can't enforce this. There's no way to enforce this. It's like what Ahmed just said. So if I cover my mouth because I'm trying to tell Marshall a tactical plan because I've just come on or whatever, or he's just come on the pitch and I'm already on a yellow card, do I get booked and sent off for that?
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
How do you enforce? It's dumb. You can't enforce that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I've got ahead.
No worries,
sorry
man.
for just dropping in for a little bit, but yeah.
No, you're good, man.
Enjoy, guys.
Enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
I didn't watch the Newcastle game. Fuck
That's
Luco.
okay.
All you guys,
word on the street is that Prime is trying to get milk. So guys, you know what I mean. We'll leave him to it tonight. Big up.
Whatever you say, Clarence. Anyway.
I'm gonna say, Marshall, we need to start getting to the main event. I've only got an hour and a half left. Just let you know.
You got it, bro. All right.
Oh
let's go.
wait. Main event. Wait, what is the main event?
Well, we're one topic away from it, so let me just get to the next topic and we'll run through that. But yeah, that's some rule changes, ladies and gents. Let's get to some disciplinary punishment that's going on. So just to keep some people up to date, there might be some I'm missing too. This is the latest in terms of disciplinary punishment that we have going on in the club, right? So breaking, Pedro Neto, who has already served a suspension in yesterday's game, got suspended for 1 game and will miss the Newcastle game tomorrow, which he did. Also, a £70 million fine for the misconduct that occurred after he was sent off in Chelsea's Premier League match against 70K. Sorry, 70K after Chelsea's Premier League match against Arsenal on March 1st. So suspended because he pushed a kid in the Champions League, right? And then 70K fine. No. Red card.
This is for the EPL.
No, hang on. I'll explain, Marshall. What it is, he got so he suspended 1 game for the red card against Arsenal, and he's suspended again for taking an age to get off the football pitch in the same game.
He didn't serve his suspension for the red card.
No, yes, he did.
So that was yesterday. So what about the suspension for pushing the kid? That's for Champions League?
No, this is completely different.
Oh, shit. I thought they came out with a ruling.
The suspension he served against Newcastle was because he took an eon to get off the pitch.
And he started swearing at the fourth referee as well.
Lovely.
That's why.
No,
and
then obviously,
and then obviously, I didn't know that he had a suspension in the UCL for pushing the kid either. By the way.
No, they're investigating that. They're
investigating that still.
Yeah, well, listen, fuck the kid anyway, man. I respect the kids. Fuck them kids, bro. That's what I'm saying right now.
No, I respect that kid, bro. Bro, he should have gone down like he got shot.
Listen, man. I'm losing now, but I'm getting Garnacho. What have I gained?
Ahmed.
There is a game. There is actually. Unironically, there is a game there.
Yeah, Ahmed, how bad it is that Garnacho is actually an improvement on Neto? Do you understand how fucked that is?
Is the Neto the only guy that's got any disciplinary issues going on right now? Is there like any other players, Marshall?
Moises Caicedo is yet again walking a
pickup.
disciplinary tightrope as he has only 2 bookings, now 1 because of yesterday's game, from a total 10 in the Premier League this season. That would have him suspended for 2 matches. A reading looking at Moises Caicedo disciplinary issues at Chelsea. For the 3rd straight season, he is struggling to avoid a 2-game ban for getting 10 yellow cards by the end of the club's 32nd Premier League game.
Dylan Brooks.
Wow. I didn't realize it was 3 seasons in a row. Fucking Christ.
Marshall, as I said before, man, Shinkika. That's what I have to say, really.
Man. I mean, I know N'Golo Kante picked up his fair share of yellow cards, but it was never
I
this
think the
much.
problem is also, like, I think, I know RSM says this quite often about the idea that, like, he's kind of, like, outed in the league. And I think part of that is that if you keep on getting 10 yellow cards per average per season, the referees are going to look at your fouls and be like, this guy's a pretty much consistent foul taker. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know it's a wrong thing to look at, but there is a level of stereotyping that's going to occur there.
Yeah, to an extent, 100%. It's the same thing. Like, you're gonna keep an eye on those players. Like, you don't think coaches kept an eye on Gattuso back in the day, or not coaches, referees, Gattuso, or I don't know, Roy Keane and all these guys. Like, yeah, they knew they had a hot head. They knew they would get physical. You got to keep a close eye on these guys, and Moises Caicedo was one of them. Picks up a bunch of yellow cards, and now you got to keep a close eye on him because he has some dangerous tackles. Even though some of them, are perfectly legal, but he still gets given a yellow. What are you gonna say, Oliver?
And it's horrible because it works both ways as well. It works in reverse because you have a guy like Virgil van Dijk who is, seen by many, not me, as the best centre back in the history of this league. And he can make, serious foul plays and studs up challenges on players and get away with it completely fine. So it works both ways. And it's just horrible.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree. Any other thoughts on, Neto, whatever, bro. This guy needs to leave my club at the end of the summer anyways.
Like I said.
Don't give a shit.
It should have been for longer.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, even Garnacho's...
And listen, for Cesena, by the way, I don't know why everyone's so up in arms about this, because I thought Romeo Lavia was the truth. When he comes in, we'll be fine, right?
It's the truth.
Yeah, man. I thought Isugo is the truth too, Marshall. Yeah.
Hey, man. Came in, got 2 assists. Hasn't been given a chance. Punished by the circumstances of the hierarchy,
Stay fit, buddy.
Stay fit. Maybe he stays fit. But, yeah, I mean... It's silly. Again, 3 seasons in a row. It's not good. It is also in part to do with, guys, like just the bad refereeing we have overall in the league. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one to see.
It's actually atrocious. And Caicedo's not the only one, by the way. He's not the only one in the league that gets treated like this.
Yeah, no, he's not. And
it's Cuti Romero. It's Casemiro. They get stereotyped by these referees.
Yeah.
No, to be fair, Romero deserves it.
Yeah,
Romero does deserve it.
Okay, this season he does. Fair enough, this season, but in previous seasons, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's more just we'll see how it goes. I hope next season we don't have to talk about this.
I just want to say this
3 seasons in a row is a lot.
I hope people understand this is to not be confused with discrimination. It's not to do with the colour of the skin. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I just want to say, 3 seasons. Why are we surprised? He's not had a backup in 3 seasons. He's played near enough every single game of every single season.
True. He's been playing every single game.
The more games you play, the more cards you're going to get. It's
that
just
was supposed to be Sugo's job, but he dropped the ball early this season. Or not.
Sugo to go back to Portugal, man.
Bro.
Send him back to Portugal, Marshall, man.
Hey, man. No GNA next game. I'll contemplate it. All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's show.
DMP.
Let's start talking about. Let's start talking about some finances. So we're going to start with the front of shirt sponsor, and then we're going to transition this into just the overall finances that's been going on. It seems like things are pretty bad in paradise, right? So we'll start out with the front of shirt. So building off of what we spoke about last time, because I think the last show we were able to announce the front of shirt sponsorship, Matt Law had this to say. It's going to get even harder now for Chelsea to find a new front of shirt sponsor. It's going to become more crowded because I think I'm right that this is the last year of betting sponsors. So you have an influx of clubs, including Villa, Newcastle, Everton, who've all got betting sponsors. And now they come into the market to find non-betting sponsors for our front of shirts. And the market shrinks because there are only so many non-betting companies that can afford or are interested via the Londoners Blue Pod. He also had this to say. I got very, very cynical about all this now. I was told at the start of the season they would be signing a long-term sponsor. I'm struggling to believe what I'm told on the sponsorship issue. It feels like they are in a sort of revolving cycle of not getting a sponsor, holding out for too much money, and then getting a sticking plaster for the end of the season, or offering a little incentive to a company to just pay a bit more for normal sponsorship and put the name on the shirt. Now, we're looking at the latest reports from UEFA providing groundbreaking figures for the 24-25 season in terms of kit and merchandising revenue. Arsenal have generated 151 million euros, which overtook Liverpool's 148 million euros, with revenue from this stream increasing by an impressive 26 year on year. I believe that's what that stands for. This means Arsenal's deal with Adidas, £75 million, may actually have been more lucrative than Liverpool's with Nike. Some reported over 100 million. All right, this is all irrelevant to Chelsea, essentially. There might be something here on Chelsea.
I actually disagree. I think the point they're making is that because
their numbers are relevant to us, is what I'm trying to say. This is ours right here.
No, I disagree. I think the reason why these numbers are relevant, Marshall, is that you need to think about it. Like, they've signed like big deals with them, but they're clearly like whatever they're doing is financially returning money both to Arsenal and to the sponsorship that they've made a deal with at the same time. That's the key thing about the 26%. They're increasing money year on year by that percentage, right?
Chelsea, for example, in that same bracket, 95 million euro. So nearly half of what Arsenal and Liverpool are making.
Yes.
Yeah, it's.
Is that all for
there's money being made there, but
is that all for the front of shirt sponsor, Marshall?
No. This is kit merchandising revenue. So how much kit they sell and stuff like that. Kit merchandising revenue. So in 2000, if I'm reading this chart correctly, we have not moved the needle in terms of merchandising revenue. From 2024 to 2025, we have the same amount. So yeah, it's not good. To an extent, it's kind of good for us as fans because, hey, we're speaking with our money, right? Also probably has to do with the sponsorship stuff. Not having that helps your finances, even though this doesn't count towards the merchandising stuff. But let me read on more here. Chelsea were ranked 11th for commercial revenue in Europe last year, making 207 million euros, 5 million down on the previous year, because I believe the previous year we had Infinite Athlete. Last year we didn't have anyone. So yeah, we had DeMac at the end, and we didn't make anywhere near as much what we would have made under Infinite Athlete. So yeah, we lost money last year in terms of commercial revenue. That puts their commercial revenue at 66 million lower than Tottenham, and oh fucking Christ, and 165 million lower than Man City. That's insane figures right there. AI software company IFS will pay Chelsea 50 million pounds until the end of the season.
Or as the Winter Server said, I'm fucking shit.
I'm fucking shit. We'll
If
pay
butts
Chelsea.
and maybes. That's what it should be called.
If butts and maybes, AI. I don't even know, man. According to the analyst Global Data, the Swedish giant will contribute around 3.5 million annually to the club as a global partner for the next 2 seasons. So we don't even have, a guarantee that they'll be in front of shirt next season.
They're not.
15
they're
million.
not going to be. They're not going to be.
No, they're not.
They're not.
But let me just point this out, right? Because this is the obvious math. 15 million pounds for a little bit less than half a season. If you had gotten that for a whole season, you could generously say maybe 30 to 35 million.
Marshall. It's for 13 games, by the way. They got 15 million for 13 games.
Okay, so you could have gotten a 40 million pound or 40 million pound sponsorship deal with a lesser known company probably when the offers were on the table. You wanted to hold out for 80. It was 80, right, guys?
15
80
divided
million?
by 13.
Like 75, 80, yeah.
75 or 80? And now you're walking out with less than if you had just gone for the cheaper deal.
Marshall,
So this is bad business.
I want to add context for this, yeah. The previous sponsor that we had, yeah, before Infinite Athlete, yeah, after Infinite Athlete, what was that company? Not Free. It was after Infinite Athlete. It was
Oklahoma.
DeMac, right?
Oh, DeMac after.
DeMac was
sorry.
8 million for 8 games, okay? DeMac
Yes.
was 8 million for 8 games. So we basically got ourselves. DeMac roughly on average was like 8 point something. It was 8 million. So it's like 1 million per game. We are currently getting basically the same amount of money with IFS. Basically, it's just 1 million per game, basically.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous considering how much money you could be making if you just get the deal done early. You and even next season, you could have had a multi-year deal going on with a, maybe not as appetizing offer, and still made more money than the way you're saying, because they're trying to spin it like, oh, we'll make more money doing it this way. Waiting for the math isn't mathing for me.
Well, that's what they're going to do, because they've completely screwed this up, and obviously the quotes are haunting them from years past that they said they can run this baby better than Roman.
Oh yeah, they said that. That's true.
What happened, bro?
Yeah.
They can run it better commercially than Roman, apparently.
Yeah. I wanted to make 2 points here. Obviously, do you have any more tweets left, Marshall, or is that all of the tweets?
In terms of front of shirt sponsor, I have two more.
Yeah. So
real quick,
I want to
let me
start
just
firstly.
get the last two tweets in real quick. In terms of if buts and maybes front of shirt sponsorship, it's worth significantly more than $15 million per season, is what Ben Jacobs is saying. Chelsea will also receive an additional payment for the 26-27 and 27-28 partnership. Front of shirt not part of this, which is also higher than the reported figures. Sure, maybe. And then lastly, Australian brand TMGM at the bottom of the number. Chelsea's current regional partner made its first appearance on the back of the shirt during the domestic cup match today against Wrexham. The original deal signed in 2023 was valued at around $1 million per year. Fucking Christ! All right, there's barely anything there. Go ahead.
I wanted to make a few points. Firstly, Matt and Law stopped watching Casually FC because the reason why I say that is because literally, if you remember, Marshall, a few weeks ago when we were talking about financial sponsor, I was telling you guys, next season there's no gambling sponsor remaining. So that means for like a good half of the clubs in the EPL.
Hold on. I said that, and you guys laughed at me.
No, I didn't. I was backing you.
We must go back then. Maybe you were backing me, but a lot of the panel was laughing at me when I said I wasn't going to bring it up. But
because I literally was backing that point because I remember at the time I made that point that because that the gambling stuff was said. Thank you, EPL Turf, my driller.
Okay,
that's my striker right there. Yeah, because that's what I was saying. Like legit, that half the clubs are basically going to essentially have to compete now for front of shirt sponsorships. Mm-hmm. Which, if you're Chelsea FC, you're trying to get into a good deal. If I'm, let's say, for example, X sponsorship, I could go to maybe Chelsea. They're gonna ask me for a higher price. But what if I just go to an Everton, for example? They may ask me like, I can get it for cheaper. They're a mid-table club usually. They're not gonna, for some reason, get relegated, barring anything crazy happening. So why do I want to go to Chelsea and pay the higher?
Because Chelsea would be in Europe. That's the only difference, really.
But again, the EPL is so big at this point. Do I even need to be seen in the Champions League at this point? And you know what? Another a fairer argument could be made that if I'm the company, what if I just split the money? I give half of it to an EPL club, and the other half I give to another team that's going to be in the Champions League, and just give them the new front shirt sponsor. Think, right? That's one point, and so you already got that issue in terms of competition wise. The second point I wanted to make was about the selling of the shirts. Now, one of the things I want to give Arsenal credit for, I don't know if you know this, Marshall. They apparently the stat was every 2 weeks, for the last 2 years, they've been releasing new branded clothing. And I think one thing...
they're really pumping it out that quick?
Right, yes. And to give them their credit, at least Arsenal, this is why I hate to do that to a rival. You know what they're really good at, Marshall? They're very good at advertising it. They get the fans invested in, right, and everything like that. I don't know what Chelsea marketing is like, man. It's trash, I'll be honest. Barring the big odd game that you want to, hype us up for, right? Or a Reece James renewal. I'll be real. The clothing stuff is not. It doesn't look great from a marketing standpoint, right? And so it's not surprising to me that's taking place. You always have Nike taking liberties. Generally, for being honest, guys, barring one or two kits, one kit per average, per season since Nike have been here, the kits haven't been great either. Let's be objective.
I've just had a look, by the way. 10 Premier League clubs of the current Premier League clubs, 10 of them have gambling front of shirt sponsors, and one of them is Aston Villa. They'll be in direct competition with us for whatever we're going to replace with.
Yep. And so, just in general, I just look at all of this, and then I look at the IFS deal. The IFS deal is an indictment because it's clear it's clear for me that they realize we need a front of shirt sponsor just to help us boost financially, right? And I'm like, guys, if this is your problem and calculating, if you calculate for IFS, by the way, they're paying 15 million for a certain amount of games. If you add that total amount, Marshall, how much do you think it is in total for a whole season?
How much was the original amount?
It's 15 million.
Oh, for a whole season, I would. Oh, that's what I was saying in the beginning. I'd be generous to say if you got him for a whole season, maybe it's 40 at most.
No.
If you extrapolate it, it's 40, it's 45.
It's 45 million, Marshall.
Yeah.
So,
45
so
million.
for me, again, do you know what? That makes it crazy because, like, so clearly that is the base fee that you're getting. You know this too. Why? What? How can you ask for more than that? This is what
You're making more
me.
money getting the annual deal than you are the last few months now.
Yes.
It's just like
It's just
it's
stupid.
I don't know.
It's financial. Generally, guys, it's financial incompetence. That's
It's
the
always
best
a
way to
weird
put it.
situation with me when I talk about finances because, like, obviously from the outside looking in, if we're using these facts, yes, there's obviously financial incompetence happening at the Chelsea financial level. And the only shitty part is that it's not transparent. It's not an open book. There may be things going on in the background where they're making money or they see themselves as making money and it's not going towards UEFA or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't make sense for me how billionaires can be this incompetent when it comes to making money, which is their whole purpose in life is to make money. That's why they're billionaires. So it's like
There's no accountability.
I hesitate to believe that this is exactly what's going on because it's like there's no way you're leaving 15 million every year on the table and actually trying to spin it to fans and say we're making money better, making better money this way by doing short deals and not long-term deals. It just doesn't look right. There's something must be going on in the background, or they are actually this incompetent.
Do you know what it is, Marshall? I think for me, what it is, before we let Scott go on his essay, which I know is going to be a good essay.
It's a good essay.
It's going to be a good essay. I just think for me, the reality of the situation more so is that I think they're more so overconfident, Marshall. That is the reality, I think, of the situation. They think they can negotiate stuff and be overconfident and overzealous.
They're trying to force their way.
Right, and overzealous in terms of their own ability. And the reality is that is not the case.
Yeah.
As many things are. But let's let Scott do his thing.
Yeah,
guys.
Scott, go for it, man. I know you have a lot to say. And then I'm going to talk about the overall finances that came out of Champions League or UEFA.
I don't have a lot to say. Like it's because it's kind of all been said, but it's just incompetence. Like when I saw the tweet, because obviously it's fairly old now, like the tweet about the deal itself, like how much we're getting, I just laughed because it's a damning indictment on what, like Ahmed said, it's a damning indictment on where we're at because they effectively got mate rate with a company. You failed at finding an actual company to sponsor the front of our shirt, so it became mates rates for a company that you happen to be working with outside of football that you managed to then get, the front of shirt sponsors. Okay, mates rates. You may be thinking, okay, they're probably giving us like, let's say like 25, 30 mil for a year deal. That would be pretty good for mates rates. Nope, we're getting 15. Fun fact, did you also know that we're getting 15 million from our sleeve sponsor? So we are getting the same amount of money for our front of shirt sponsor for a year that we're getting from our sleeve sponsor. Then if you include the two payments of 3.5 mil, we're getting for 3 years worth of work, 22 mil for 3 years. So we are making, on average, about just over 7 mil a year from our front of shirt sponsor.
That's pathetic. That's pathetic considering the
genuinely
other numbers the other Cubs are putting up. Yeah, that's like not even. I don't even want to disrespect championship. That might be like League One numbers. That's just ridiculous, man. Let me actually, while we're tied into the conversation of the finances, let me also bring into.
By the way, Marshall, sorry, just before you do, to give people an idea, that is about the equivalent of what Bournemouth are currently getting for their front of shirt sponsor.
Oh wow. Maybe okay. I see. I was too mean. I was too disrespectful to League One sides.
Which by the way, is a betting company. the one Bournemouth have.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And like I said, half the Premier League are looking for new sponsors now. Half.
Yes. Exactly. Oliver, though, and that will include Bournemouth, who earn more than us who are getting about the same.
I said Aston Villa.
Yeah. It does. It also includes, are they a betting company? No. Are they a betting company? Yep.
West
So it
Ham are
also
going to be in the market.
It also includes Fulham, who are getting more per year than us. It includes Everton, who are getting more per year than us. It includes Crystal Palace, who are getting more per year than us. It includes West Ham, the same. It includes Aston Villa, the same.
Hey man, next season. Oh, no, next season. Maybe the loophole is Cauchy.
It includes Nottingham Forest, the same.
Yeah.
We
Crazy.
have legit, like, if you look at it, and if you just look at the what's it called, the sponsorships in the Premier League, we are in the bottom 5.
Yeah, we don't take this aspect
Based
of
on-
our institution seriously, and it's concerning because again, we all know on the panel we have UEFA restrictions. Even if we get into Europe next season, we're in those restrictions because of this incompetency, because we're leaving money on the table. That it's just there, it's up for grabs. Like, just get a sponsorship. You're Chelsea Football Club, for fuck's sake. You have weight in the room. It's not like you're Wrexham, who's just first time in a Premier League.
Marshall, they're trying to do that too much though. Clearly,
Yeah.
We don't have weight though. That's the problem.
I think listen, you need to understand them. The best people are guys that understand themselves. As a human being.
They don't. Yeah,
Listen,
they
as a human being, for example, I'm Ahmed Abdi right now. All right, I know what my strengths are. I know what my weaknesses are. Right. An idiot is someone. The club is a guy that is overestimating their hand. Right, in poker.
Yeah.
They think that their hand is so strong no one can compete with them. But the reality is they're probably getting bluffed, and then they lose the money.
100%.
That's it.
Let me go into the other finances to bring this into the conversation. So this is another thing that broke out early last week, I want to say. Chelsea booked the highest pre-tax loss in English football history in the 24-25 season per data released today by UEFA. Now, there's a bit of context to this, and if I'm missing tweets, by all means, let me know, guys. The European Club Finance and Investment Landscape Report issued annually by the governing bodies include that the 10 clubs in the highest losses in a given season. The West London outfit topped or bottomed the cohort last season, but it is the scale of Chelsea's loss which stands out. In their third full season under the ownership of a consortium headed by Clearlake Capital and Todd Bowley, the club booked a £407 million or euro pre-tax deficit. So there's more details on this. The significant 24-25 loss takes Chelsea's rolling 3-year deficit for UEFA calculations to 622 million euro. A figure that vastly exceeds the 60 million euro limit set under UEFA's football earnings rule. UEFA's latest report also shows Chelsea's wages to revenue ratio stands at 76%, which is higher than typically seen among Europe's biggest clubs. So we look at this chart here. Chelsea's 24-25 loss was more than double the next highest deficit in Europe. So Lyon had the second highest deficit at 165 million euro. Baghdad Bali, and these are the quotes that Oliver was talking about. We thought Chelsea was frankly an asset, a business that was not terribly well managed on the football side, sporting side, or promotional side. Yeah. Funny.
No. I'll be honest. I could be wrong. I swear it was just the financial side. My man did not say the football side.
No, he said all three of those. That's a real quote.
Oh my god. He said this in 2021, by the way.
2022.
I want to know when in 2021.
It was in the
I think there was an interview.
It was those business conferences.
Ahmed, there's a reason I'm asking this. I want to know when in 2021 this was said.
I think it was in 2022. It was either the summer or the autumn.
If you look it up, it's the same press conference. I believe that he talks about how he respects the Brighton model and how these players can,
Yes, that was like in the summer.
No one's clocking what I'm saying. This is the same year we won the Champions League, and he's talking about we're not well run on the football side.
Oh, never mind. Maybe it's
that's what I'm asking, Marshall.
Yeah.
If it was from the summer onwards, my man is talking about Chelsea not being run on the football side well after winning a fucking Champions League.
I don't think that date's correct, Scott. I know it says that on there. I don't think it was in 2020.
Regardless, Oliver, if it's after we won the Champions League, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Scott, I think the date's wrong on this. I think it happened that first year they took over.
Because I knew he said these quotes. I didn't realize he said football side. I just thought he said commercial side.
Yeah. But even then,
Yeah.
So in terms of deficit, just deficit alone, we spent more than a lot of these clubs, and part of it, people, is also because they didn't account for the women's sale and the self sales and shit.
Big up
But Chelsea
FIFA,
did
man.
account for. Chelsea did account for. So if you look at this chart, the blue is what Clear Lake think they've done, but UEFA is tracking the orange. So Clear Lake, they're based on their math, based on the fact that they sold the women's club to themselves and all this stuff, they're in the green, they're good. But UEFA doesn't count that. So that's where you see the disparagement here, right? Where UEFA is saying, no, you guys spent a lot more than what you're saying you did. We're not counting your sale of the women's team to yourself as part of your profit. So Chelsea's annual accounts may well show different lower loss than the detailed in the latest UEFA report. The latter, though, is a relevant figure for the financial regulatory purposes on the European front. Kieran Maguire posted this as well. Lots of talks about buying players in the transfer market, but when it comes to selling others successfully to generate funds, one club stands out, which, yes, we've sold a lot of players. And
Well, when
I
you
believe
buy a lot
this-
of players, what do you expect?
I think this is 1.2 million pounds.
Yes.
If I'm to translate that over to
In terms of
millions.
millions, yes, it's 1.2 million.
So 1.2 million pounds, but
Billion,
still,
1.2 billion, bro.
billion pound. Wait, what?
That's million.
No, that's in M.
It says,
So that's- if you try, I'm
it says
just
look at the title of the bar graph. It
Player
says
sale 2017 to 2026.
that M is
that's-
million.
Yeah, but I'm translating it into billion for him to make it its own.
Oh, so
Oh
that's
no, because it's
actually-
1,000. Oh, yeah. So it's 1,000 million. Yeah, it's billion. Yeah.
Yeah, never
that's what I'm
mind.
saying.
So 1.2 billion, which supersedes this amount that they're claiming, right? But that's over since 2017. So you're not really dissecting just this season alone. Let's continue on. Sources of Chelsea say a number of factors have caused the unfavorable outlook in UEFA's latest report. They say they remain profitable on an operation basis, believe they will comply with UEFA's rules, and deny they will have to sell star players to fulfill any regulatory requirements. That's coming from Nazar Cancela, so that's a bit of a mouthpiece. Matt Hughes said, Premier League clubs are unhappy with UEFA's decision to reveal details of the financial results before some have been published and without warning. I mean, I think the Premier League club you're talking about is just Chelsea. One source with knowledge of the club's dealings offerings that Chelsea's huge loss last season was, like Barcelona's before them, driven by significant non-cash accounting entries. Okay. I need to get explanation of that one. Finance expert Adam Williams says player sales will be the key solution to the financial situation and is predicting an increase in departures. He expects not only fringe players to leave, but potentially some superstars players may be sold, which, you know, Blue Coat's denying that'll be the issue. And then lastly here, the real problem in UEFA's rules, which don't recognize the artificial profit from the women's team sale. Chelsea have already breached those rules and are under the terms of a settlement, which broadly speaking means they have to break even financially over the next 3 years. So if I'm understanding correctly, then the deal we made with UEFA is by 3-year mark, we're going to break even.
Yeah, I think for me, listen, yeah, that's correct. Listen, I think for me, whenever we have this general talk, that loss, whether we like to be, it's a bad loss, boys.
Yeah.
It's a very bad loss.
That loss includes João Felix, Pedro Neto, more players in there, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
We
I think the other thing that we need to also talk about is like also the one thing I'm not understanding is that they keep talking about non-accounting and stuff related to that. But what does that mean? Because that for me means it's a lot darker than I think people like actually want to admit. By the way, because for me,
no, it just means UEFA don't count the women's team transfer from.
No. So the club is saying the reason why that loss is occurred, it's not just to do with the women's stuff, but it's saying it's due to stuff that's happening behind the scenes, one-time payoffs, stuff like that. So for me, that begets the question: what is that to do with then? Because I understand that women sell everything that's gonna get put into the green. That's okay, but the stuff that you're having to spend and do stuff with is where you have to start asking questions, Marshall. Because it's clear they're not being kind of like apparent, Oliver. Does that make sense? With like what that means?
Yeah, I don't know what that could entail. I don't know what that's referring to. Like,
that's what I'm saying, because like that for me probably is a much more interesting question to ask. Like, what do you mean by that? What does that entail? What are these one-time occurrences that you're having to pay for? Like, are we having, like, I know obviously there was like a case against the club, but like for an harassment case for like one of the agents, like that we had previously, right? Which I knew we had to, which I assume probably that's something to do with that. Remember, but there's like a lot of other stuff that's also occurred within that period of time that we also probably have to pay for as well. I just think for me, guys, yeah, you know, you're not running a successful club if you're having to sell a women's team, guys. Objectively speaking. If you have to sell
problem,
to yourself.
But the problem is, like, I don't care if you sell the women's team. Like,
whoa. I can't lie to you. I can't have that one. The reason why
I mean to yourself to make profit. That's what I mean. Like,
listen, man. Shout out the
Bro.
women's team. They beat Manchester United
Yeah.
to the League Cup, man. Big up the
They're
women's
the
team,
only
bro.
ones that are still Chelsea, is my opinion.
That
right?
are still winning.
Yeah, but like in terms of the women's
Only
team,
just.
like I don't mind that
Only
they did
just.
this loophole to
Better
make
than
more
not.
money, right? I don't mind that. What I mind is that you could have maximized your profit if you had a front and shirt sponsor on time, if you actually didn't buy these shitty players, if you weren't investing in all these, you know, flipping for profit players. Like, you could maximize the amount of profit you make just by reinvesting the money properly or doing the right negotiations. And then on top of it, you're making money off of that. Bro, max profit at the club, I'm all for it. We don't have a big stadium where we can make good profit on. So you got to find any way to make profit. These guys are leaving so much on the table where now, it now seems from the outside looking in, we are leaking money everywhere. And I don't know how sustainable this is going to be without Europe.
but the thing is, the optics of the way we've done it is terrible because we've not done it. Like, I get what you're saying, Marshall. Like, make gains anywhere that you can. That's fine. If you're doing that from a position of strength, if a Manchester City did that so that they can buy their next superstar player, no one cares. We've done it to, you know, patch over a hole, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing it from a position of weakness, and the optics are terrible.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of how this is all being run. And it's, listen, if we agree to deal with UEFA, right, with FFP, that every 3 years we're incrementally, you know, lessen the gap of the deficit that we show here, then fine, do it, but also don't let it like vastly affect the team. It seems like UEFA kind of put us in a stranglehold now for the next 3 years that I think at some point or another we're gonna find a way to breach that deal and we're gonna be banned from Europe. Like, they're going to fuck something up. That's how it feels. Like, there feels like a lot of incompetency going on. And it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating to see the club being run like this when you expect a certain level of competence from people who are billionaires. They're supposed to know how to make money. And there's a lot of stuff that's being questioned.
They should have accounted for this anyway, because we all knew before last season the Conference League was going to leave us in deficit even if we won it.
Mm-hmm.
We were not going to make a profit on. We made a loss by competing and winning the Conference League.
Say that again, RSM?
I said, didn't we? No, I don't think we made a loss, but I think the profit was like literally so minimal. It was like
no, they
like what?
Arson, they were literally reporting before last season that we were not going to make a net profit on the Conference League.
If that was the case, then teams that are poorer than us would not participate because they would just eat into their non-existent.
No, but our operating costs and our agent fees are higher. It all adds up, you know.
In terms of actually traveling to the competition and going to the places, et cetera, like, we made money in terms of actually playing in the competition. I don't know what agent fees would.
But you compare it to Europa League and Champions League, it's marginal, and then you add everything else in.
Of course, 100%. That's what I say. I think like they reported we made a profit, but brother, it was like less than a group stage game in the UCL. Like, it was literally nothing.
It wasn't that much profit. Yeah. There's just a lot going on financially, and you know what? Fans are getting sick and tired of it, and rightfully so. But
are you speaking about the finance as well? Did you I think even with finances, obviously we're talking about the stadium, but I think even in terms of player wages, right? Are we? Because I know, I don't know if you talked about the Reece James or if you're planning on talking about the Reece James contract.
No, not yet.
But Reece James is gonna happen in 2 more topics.
All right, cool. So I'll save it for them. But Just even with just our wage bill, like we're just trying to cut costs everywhere, and it's just like, again, if you guys don't know what Clear Lake Capital is and these type of private equity firms, they buy like what people consider failing businesses. They trim all the fat and then they just resell the business. And they say, look, the business is making money because they trimmed off a lot of the fat, and then they move it on to somebody else.
They're not trimming the fat though. When it comes to the wage,
They've added more fat. We have 4 sporting directors.
No. I'm just saying in general, that's what equity firms do to different companies. The issue is that Chelsea is not a business like in the traditional sense. We were not a failing business. We were actually pretty successful over a 2-decade span. So the fact that these guys come in and made everything in every aspect noticeably worse than it was before doesn't surprise me. Like, I don't think that the club has appreciated even in their outlook, right? Because I don't think they even came into the club to be successful. They came into the club to just make more money when they eventually sell it. I don't even think they're being successful in that.
Well, they bought it because, you know, with the rushed sale, we couldn't be sold for our full value.
You know, I think there's like another point I wanted to add here, yeah, which is just about the finances, right? Listen, you know, I'm not a financial expert personally, but, you know, I like to save money personally. You know, shout out to that, you know, and stuff like that. But
wait, you like to save money? Can I ask you about those swords behind your wall?
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Do you know how much they cost actually? It's a good question. So one of them costs 60 quid. These two combined cost me only. Those two combined cost me 80 quid. So you know,
80 quid. That's a man. Yeah, that's a man saving money right there, man.
Listen, yeah, man. You know, you also need to indulge with the money you've saved in it. So to myself. But listen, you know, shout out to
Chelsea's doing the same thing. They're indulging by getting Garnacho. You know what I'm saying?
I think the problem with that comment is that if they were truly indulging, then you only indulge when you have the money. You know, you've got.
Brother, it's like me. You know, it's like saying I'm taking a girl out when we go to the dollar store, bro. Like we getting Garnacho and getting in the lap.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, but guys, you know, the reason why I'm talking.
Sorry, he said Garnacho. I got upset.
Yeah, I just think, listen, I think RSM is right that they're trying to trim the fat, right? In terms of like reducing the wage bill, they have done that, right? A lot of stuff they've done, they have reduced the wage bill and everything of the sort. But the issue has become, guys, yeah, that what they have not done is the opposite things. Increase the revenue, increase, you know, what I mean by that, increasing the value of the front of shirt sponsorship. Right, increasing the value that you're making out of the club's merchandise. That's the way it works, Marshall. You trim the fat by doing the other stuff that we mentioned, but then you increase that value by doing the other stuff that we've spoken about. And they've not done those other things. That's where the dissonance lies, if that makes sense. That's why, like, that's what was making Liverpool work and tick for quite a while. They did a lot of great work on the commercial side to improve that stuff in that department, and then at the same time, from a sporting perspective, were able to make sure to reduce the budget, reduce the wage bill, and also be able to, you know, play their cards right in terms of getting the players that they wanted. Chelsea's doing neither, bro.
Chelsea are trying to reinvent the wheel, but the wheel don't need reinventing.
Exactly.
And it's just frustrating me, man, because it's just like if this doesn't work, then you put us in a really bad position in terms financially, in terms of in Europe, in terms of just being a competitive club, period. Which even now,
brother, I'm watching dart players take the piss out of our team, bro.
Oh my god, I saw that.
Great.
I know, everybody saw it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, bro.
Do you know what's funny, by the way? I'm looking like, because this wage bill thing, like, I find funny because like they want to lower this wage bill and like have us spending less money on that sort of stuff. I'm just going back to look at what our wage bill was over the years, and it's like, it's not even like they're lowering it by that much in the grand scheme of things. Like, I'm looking like last year. Between this year and last year, it's gone down 500k. Like, that's a week, basically.
Okay.
If I go in like the year previously, there's like a 300k a week difference. If I go back to 2019, 2020, our wage bill that year was lower than our wage bill now.
Dark.
That's because we had.
I think what it is, Scott. I think.
But Marshall, that's with having an N'Golo Kante on 290k a week.
But the way they spin it is it's per player. Like this is what like Feliciano and Egbali were saying in their interviews. Like per player, they'll pay less. I don't agree with it, but
this is why I then push back on the thing, because like you're lowering the wage bill in a sense of, yes, per player, every player is on less wages. Because you employ 40 players, it adds up.
That is also
Yeah,
true.
yeah, that's why it doesn't add.
That's the big issue,
that's
right?
where the math isn't mathing. If you wanted to actually cut the wage bill, your plan that you're doing works,
It's,
then don't employ
we
40 players.
downgraded in quality and just compensated in quantity, and it's just
Exactly.
not how that works.
But
It doesn't work like
Exactly.
the thing is, like, if this ownership were doing this now, but back in that era, they had the loan army. They could loan out domestically, and they would cover most of the wages
No, but their
and
loans
stuff
are
like
shit.
that.
Like, no, they don't. They wouldn't
But-
have the loan army because
I mean,
their loan.
the
That's
loans
true.
under Roman
That's true.
weren't always great either.
This
But
is like,
regardless, like, it was
hold
like
up, this
it
is the
would
thing
get the
too.
wages
Oh, by the way,
off the
Ahmed,
books.
although Ahmed has said this for a very long time as well. Like, even within the model that we are working under, right, where we're getting like this quantity of like young talent,
Yeah,
this wouldn't be as bad if we were getting the correct young talent.
yeah, exactly.
We've
Exactly.
seen, you know, like even just this at the beginning of this season, even before Cole went down, right, when we were looking for left winger, everyone was saying, "Hey, why don't we roll the dice on like a Malik Fofana, right? Who's in league? Maybe that's a decent winger, etc., etc." Instead, we go get Garnacho. We all knew it was going to be a flop, right? But the issue is we are no longer doing eye tests at this club. We're looking at flip value, and we're looking at stats. That's it. There's no eye test no more.
The problem with even us saying flip value is that the guys we're bringing in are not flipping properly. If we look at it, if that makes sense, there's some guys, yes, we're flipping to make money. There's no, you, all of us here don't disagree on that. But for a good bunch of them, we're either just breaking even or we're losing money, right? And I think for me, the thing for me is that when they're signing these guys here, they're no longer trying to sign the best young talent because now everyone is trying to do that now. Everyone's competing for that player, and so the wage you're gonna have to give that guy's gotta be quite a bit of money, right? So now they're trying to go to the next level, which is the guy that's showing potential data-wise value, right? That could actually become the next big thing, and that is where the problem begins, right? Because now we're not getting even the top young talent; we're getting the best of the rest, if that makes sense.
Bro, we're not even like, how do I tell you this? It's like we decided we're going to shop at value brand stores now, right? We're not going name brand, we're going value. And then hold up, and then we decided, actually, matter of fact, we won't even go to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? We going to the Dollar Tree around the corner where the cash register and the cashier is behind bulletproof glass. That's where we're going to shop at right
You know
now.
where is RSM? I've actually got a better example. I'm going to use here a American example, an American sports example. Yeah, we're no longer trying to get the first round picks, boys. You know, we're trying to go for the 5th round pick, the 6th round pick, bro. You know, the guy that's, you know, he's the guy that's not really known that much. Yeah, the upside obviously is going to be really high if he works around. Yeah, but if you lose on him, you don't lose too much. You know what I mean? Like, he's an expendable. That is what we're doing. That's the equivalent of what we're doing right now, boys.
We're becoming the Expendables.
No, we're literally
We're turning the team into the Expendables.
the thing, just in general, with what I see from Chelsea right now, is just that objectively, the way we do stuff right now is clearly flawed. It's objectively flawed. You know, and I saw today from Ornstein something about the idea that, you know, this is gonna take years. The problem for me is I would objectively be happy if this. I would be happy to sit here, hold these L's, be beating the shit out of. If again.
Okay.
Listen,
whatever you like, Common. You know what I'm saying? That's your thing.
Listen, I'm willing. Listen. Listen, as I said before, I'm willing to do the thing that a lot of people don't like to do. Short-term pain for long-term gain. The problem is, in order for that to work, you need to make sure that you built the base there, where you're playing a lot of these young players, you're bringing in some top-tier talents to make it work. Chelsea's not doing that, boys. We're still playing middle-aged men. Pause. Okay, in terms of footballing skills, footballing age-wise, who offer no value to us.
Brother, I'm seeing Chalobah. We're seeing Chalobah, who we know is not good enough and is not gonna have a future at this club. And we're playing Fofana, who we know is just cooked. We know he's cooked. We know he's cooked, bro.
Exactly, and that's what the issue is really. But you know,
like, okay, for the rest of the season, right? Like, let's say we lose our next game against Everton. We know UCL is finished at that point, right? So
Everton next week, by the way?
what would be the purpose of not
it's already
playing?
finished.
Yeah, it's the same. But what would be the purpose? I think like mathematically though, it's like pretty much impossible. Like, what would be the purpose of not playing like a SAR for the rest of the season, an Action Pong for the rest of the season? Because we know everybody else is out the door.
can we ask Clear Stronger Soldier actually? Because like
because he might say they might need to play to maintain value for the
What?
Yeah, Mr. Maintain
Yeah,
value.
maintaining
Explain to me
value,
how
sorry.
we're maintaining value by not playing SAR, please.
Because Sar
But they
still
are
has a
maintaining
long
value
career
by
ahead of
playing
him.
Jorgensen. They're maintaining value by playing Jorgensen. That's true. We're increasing Jorgensen. Did you
Oh
see
my
the
God,
increase in
this-
Jorgensen's value during that PSG game, Marshall?
He just has Sunday League player in it. It's not like he was good.
I saw
No,
the
he's worse than that.
right there. The second, the fourth, the fifth goal happened, I was
Yes,
like, oh
man.
my god, that's another 5 million in Jorgensen's transfer fee. Oh my god, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we're asking you, Stronger Soldier. Come on, man. Tell me more.
I
Tell
already
me.
explained it. It's just, players. These guys have it in their head.
Holy
that
snap,
if you
Marshall!
give,
I've got something for you. Breaking news, actually. You know the breaking. Do you know who Gaston Ido is? He's a top Argentinian.
Gaston.
He's
No,
an
whatever.
Argentina guy that be I know him. He's on streams and stuff. He's a funny guy, bro.
Enzo Fernandez has chances of leaving Chelsea in
Good.
the summer window.
Alhamdulillah. Thank
Inshallah, God is
Literally,
great,
I'll
man.
even send you the link.
God is great. God is great, man. God is great.
I'm gonna give
Leave that because
you.
I have an
One
Enzo
second,
Fernandez
so I
section
can
anyway,
get
so
Valverde, please.
we leave it for this
Bro,
show. and
what
next show. We'll see how
won't
that
my
goes.
Lord do for me?
But no, I mean, like in terms of like obviously, if you're trying to flip some of these players, you can't flip them for profit if they're not playing. So they have it in their head that as long as they're getting minutes, you're doubling their value. I remember what I forget what tweet it was that I read that in, and it was just like
Marshall, how does that work for
interesting
players
theory.
to make your profit on?
No, but the thing is, like, it's not really working. That's the problem. I mean, there's the use case that I had to try to understand their perspective was Robert Sanchez as to why he was playing. Now it's a little bit more clear why Robert Sanchez played because he's actually better than whatever we have in backup. But like, it just when I can't make sense as to why things are happening, I have to look at the financial side of things. And so that's when I said, like, hey, we're probably playing Sanchez because he was a relatively expensive purchase in the goalkeeping department for this ownership, and they're going to try to flip it for profit when Penders is here. And so far, that theory's worked out, but it's not worked out for everyone, I don't think. Like, I don't
It doesn't
think
work for free players, though. Like Chalobah and Tosin who weren't signed for transfer fees.
But Tosin, yeah, exactly. Tosin, you're going to make money off of no matter what because he was $0. But when it comes to, for example, Ashely, that I'm not so convinced on. Like, I don't think we're going to we might break even on Ashely, if anything.
So then why doesn't Ashely start over Chalobah?
That I don't know. Probably because
That's where it falls apart.
Yeah. I don't know because this team doesn't make sense to me either. Like, why is Jurgensen starting over Sanchez? Like, I genuinely can't comprehend what goes behind the selection of the team anymore. It just like at this point, I'm even making the argument that the rotation is being caused internally, and that's part of the reason we're seeing some of these players play.
Internal solutions.
Mm-hmm. Internal solutions.
You know, the thing is,
we need to make
By
money
the
off
way,
these guys and sell them
I'm
off.
having a look. By the way,
Talk to me.
For purely book value,
Sure.
based on what we signed him for, and I think actually the figure I have in front of me is wrong. I just don't know how to work it out with halves. So we signed Badiashile in January 23
Sure.
on a 7.5-year contract.
Damn.
So by the summer, he'll have 5 years left. We signed him for 32.7 million.
Remember, that was back when you could amortise over 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've looked. So to sell him for a profit on book value, and again, this figure isn't right because I couldn't work out the half year. This is just based on the 7 years. We would have to sell him for 24 million. Are you telling me we can't sell him for 24 million at his current level?
I feel like we should be able to.
That's
I
what I'm
I
saying.
thought he was 40 million. I thought he was more.
No. So this is it was 37 million euros. But this is
Think of
where
this, Archie.
this is where the what's it called? The whole like, oh, playing to retain their value thing is bullshit to me, because like you're only like that's only true if you think you can't make a profit on 24 million. Which if you can't, you've bought a terrible asset. You've bought a fucking dreadful asset if you can't recoup your value on that. Because there'll be clubs interested in Badia Shield. There were clubs interested in Disassi, for fuck's sake. There'll be clubs interested in
Respect
Badia
Disassi,
Shield.
please.
No, shut up. And also like the thing that we've had this conversation as well about the retaining value. If I'm a businessman, I want to retain my value of the assets that have actual good value. So like the value in SAR is way higher than the value in Badia Shield. The value in Achumpong is way higher than the value in Tosin. So if your comment about, or your thought process about, oh, they're trying to retain value in players, that's wrong. Because then Achumpong and SAR would be top of their list. Because if they play well, their value increases tenfold. If Badia Shield and Tosin play well, their value either doesn't drop, it stays where it is, so it either stagnates or raises slightly. So if I'm trying to get the best value from my players, I'm playing the young kids, because one good performance and their value skyrockets. And conversely, one bad performance doesn't knock their value massively because they're young kids.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I my only real discrepancy there, like really, and we don't need to go on about it because I do want to talk about the protests, is just you know, with the older players, they start to decline in value over years, right? Whereas young players, before they hit 24, 20, 25, maybe their prospects are still higher. But I get what you're saying, and you're not wrong at all. Talking on this too, and how the club is being ran. So this happened today. We have a new protest being planned, people.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how many people turn out, because the last one was pathetic.
I will not be there.
Well, you're not excited to be next to. You're not excited.
Will be there. Do you care though? Who will be there?
It's not Scott. Scott will not be
I
there. So the Not a Project, which by the way, people pay attention to this name. I'm going to reference it in the next segment. Not a Project, right? CFC, they announced that there's been an update on the protests. We would like to announce that further protest action is being planned in light of the recent events and the continued erosion of the values that once defined Chelsea football clubs. We believe it's fucking obvious. Sustained action is required. Since the first protest, we have engaged with numerous fans and groups and organizations. We recognize that not everyone feels comfortable standing outside the ground protesting, but we would welcome the support of those who, like us, believe the current state of the club and the direction it is heading cannot continue. One of the key reflections since the last protest is the message must be aligned and the fan base needs to be united. It is clear to us that the current ownership are not listening. They do not care about supporters' concerns, and they are jeopardizing the future of our football club. Our message is simple. Blue Coast / Clear Lake out. We are currently finalizing the details of the next protest. We are also looking to organize opportunities for fans who may have concerns about protesting but still want the space to share their frustrations and engage with others who feel the same way. We also want to be clear that the message on the day must remain focused. The protest is about the ownership and the direction of the club. That means no Tottenham songs, no chants about former or current players, no chants about former or current managers. All of our energy should be directed at the same message.
Tottenham.
Blue
It's
Coast
about
/ Clear Lake
These
out.
men are unserious, bro.
Further details will be announced in the coming
That's
weeks.
what happened the last protest. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's what happened the last
protest.
It happened the last two. The fact they have to say that is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, fair enough.
Listen, I'm not gonna speak to the intelligence of people that show up, but yeah, man.
You know what, RSM, you have no right to actually. You in particular have no right to.
Because he's an international fan. I get it. On it.
You know, he's not been to Stamford Bridge. You know
Yeah,
what?
he's not been to the bridge.
You know, Marshall.
You know who has
free
though?
to speak.
Marshall has.
You know what? Marshall is free to speak. Marshall's free to speak.
Proper
Yeah.
Chelsea now. He's proper.
Marshall's free to speak. He's free to speak about it. There we go, Marshall.
Yeah, there's the picture. Okay.
There you go. But obviously jokes aside from to my boy RSM, it's just that, guys. I think for me the reality
I can
is
hear RSM shaking his head, bro.
you know, I just think for me the reality of the situation, as I always come back to, stop copying Strasbourg's a blue cutout banner. That's literally Transfer's blue cutout banner, by the way.
Tit for tat? Tit for tat?
It's the exact same. Yes.
Oh, man.
All right.
Unoriginal.
It's not even original. We're not even original. Secondly, the problem you're always gonna have, guys, is that we can keep saying let's not go into the club, let's not do all this other stuff. It's the thing about everything of the sort. I just come back to the same thing. I went to the last process of Scott. I was behind the protest, and I saw the numbers, mate. I'm gonna be honest. There is a cognitive dissonance. I repeat this again. There is a cognitive dissonance between the reaction online and what you get IRL. I promise you, Marshall. I remember some of these guys were getting called neeks. Okay, I don't know if you know what a neek is, Marshall. Okay, that's the equivalent of being called a nerd in the US. Okay.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that is what they were getting called, bro.
To be fair, some of them don't touch grass. That is true.
Marshall, can you scroll up to the top of this tweet? Just trying to find what I was looking for. Okay, in light of recent events, we lost a couple games. That's the recent events. That's why I can't back this, because it's fickle as hell.
Yeah, they do this again, bro.
Where was the protest when Liam Rosenior won? When undefeated in his first 6 Premier League matches? Where was the protest then?
True. Yeah, true.
Because there's no consistency to this. It's only when we start dropping points and losing games. Like, again, you can't have any credibility with this thing unless you're doing it even through the good times or supposedly the good times in the short term.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I have a feeling, CP, before you go, I have a feeling that if things don't go well, if things go well for us at the end of the season by some miracle, like we end up winning a trophy, or at bare minimum, we find a way to get into Europe again, I think this will die over. I think people will not worry about it. Yeah. They won't be concerned, because that's the thing. I keep saying this, and you guys can vouch for me because you go to the matches. The match-going fans genuinely don't give a shit what's going on behind the scenes. They just want to see Chelsea play well, and that's it. They go on about their day. They enjoy their Chelsea game or not enjoy it and go home. It's the fans online that are the loudest and the ones that are always doing all this protest that. And then when it comes to it, they don't actually show up.
Marshall, does this tweet say when the next protest is, or does it say they're organising a protest?
No, they're finalising things.
I heard it was apparently it was Port Vale. I've heard that. I can't confirm that.
Oh wow, brother! What a game! What a game, bro! Wow, the mighty Port Vale game, bro. The mighty Port Vale.
I was listening. I was listening to Lewis's.
I was listening
to Lewis's emergency meeting. Apparently, I think I heard him say Port Vale, but I can't. Don't take my word for it.
By the way, if that happens, we'll be protesting once every 3 months. Because the last one would have been 3 months prior. So that means that will be the last protest before the end of the season.
These guys are
if they decide
it's like a quarterly report kind of thing, you know what I'm saying?
By the way, if they then decide to do one before the end of the season, our last home game is Tottenham, so they won't do one there. So our last home game that we're going to do one at is Nottingham Forest. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
bro.
Who cares?
This is all silly.
The thing is,
listen,
these guys are so funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I'm taking a principled stand, and I'm giving up my seat for the Port Vale game. Bro. You're a real fighter, bro. You're really in the trenches, man.
That's the thing. Like I already got the Enzo tweet. We might talk about it today or next show. But like in terms of like the protest itself, like I'm not opposed to it. The problem is you have to be consistent. If you have a problem with the ownership, then don't let this be a results-based thing. I understand sustaining a protest every single home game and stuff. It's exhausting. It takes a lot of resources. It takes a lot of time. I understand. But if you really feel this way,
it doesn't.
I mean, however
if match-going fans are already going to the stadium,
sure,
it's not an extra investment of time.
It requires you potentially bring banners, which take not that long to make. It requires you.
People bring banners when there aren't protests, let alone when there are.
It requires you to potentially bring like a megaphone, cool, and then it just requires you to like organize it online.
Sure, I was trying to be a little more generous, but I get what you're saying. To me, it's just like Yes, there's resources that go along with it, but if you're consistent and if you're gonna really be about this life, then be consistent and be about it through good or through bad. Like protest. Look at the Strasbourg fans, how
The
they
thing
protest.
is, like, can I step in?
You know, even
here?
Lazio, what they did with the stadium.
Yeah. I wanna step in here a little bit before. I know CP wants to go. I think. You wanna go CP first, and then I
Yeah,
can go
if you don't like, here's. Did anyone see the stream with Matisse, George Benson, and CB? I think it was 2 days ago.
No, I
3
didn't get
days
to
ago.
watch it.
Honestly, very insightful because basically Matisse was getting called out for the whole involvement and all.
That's
that
the next segment, by the way, too.
Let's go, man. I'm ready to talk.
Yeah.
Let's go over there.
But what I did
Go ahead,
really appreciate because they did talk about the whole protest thing and your voice,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, I'm down to retweet and all that stuff. Like, I'm not going to games. I'm down to I'm down to market. Just because I have a social media following doesn't mean I'm going to attract. And the main point was, we have the oldest season ticket holders in the league. I think the average age is 50. I think. So these are old media people. They're not checking their fucking Twitter.
Exactly.
These people are worrying about their retirement funds in the next 10 years. They're not checking Twitter. They're mainly doing talk sport or whatever the mainstream channels are, the newspapers and so on and so forth, right?
And also, they grew up supporting this club when we weren't expected to win Premier League.
Like that's the thing. Like, as someone who has a close friend who moved from London with his wife, and I met his father, lifelong Chelsea fan, has jerseys from like the 60s and shit. Like, he's not gonna gave away season tickets, but I agree. Like, you need to get through the mainstream media. This Twitter shit, no matter how much we retweet, how much we do this, if majority of the ticket holders are the age of 50, who are we really attracting?
Well, the problem is when we breach the media, it's some imbecile going on TalkSport and.
Don't even get, bro. That
remember that one?
Talk Sport. Yeah, I remember it. We all remember that, bro.
And it's not even that. It's so here's the thing. Then the only way you're gonna have the mainstream media is here's the conflict of interest that's happening, right? It's the Chelsea supporters trust, the people who have technically the shares to the field, right? The why there's a conflict, they're technically representing us, but at the same time, to represent us, they want to sit at the table. And to have a seat at the table,
other thing about
the only way they're going to have a proper seat at the table, in a sense, is by also towing that line to a certain extent.
The other thing about the media is that I hate to use this language, but they're bought. Like, look at what Sky Cover is saying about us.
Yeah.
And the way he's defending this ownership on Sky Sports.
They're the mouthpieces.
Can I be honest though? I want to step in
Exactly.
here. I want to
Go
step
ahead,
in here because there's something I wanted to say real quickly, yeah. And this is a personal opinion of mine.
Yeah.
But this is where I think the issue of organization comes back in. Because, you know, guys, a lot of football clubs, a lot of the season ticket holders in general are going to be older people. Like, yes, we may have the oldest fan base, but the problem I always say is that this is where you have to a lot of these old guys, you know who they're connected with? They're connected with like the Chelsea Supporters Trust.
That's who we call it. That's what we're saying,
right? And this is where I think a lot of these, what I'm going to call these guys, not a project. Are they coordinating with these guys? Are they speaking of the?
I would hope so, because it seems like they're going out there and talking to fans.
Well, they're quoted to organisations broadly.
That's why I said there's a conflict of interest, right? Because they're supposed to represent us, right? But they also want to see it at the table. Still want the seat at the table with Blueco. And to do that, Blueco's going to ask them to toe the line a certain extent.
Exactly. Yeah, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, you know, you need to, in order for us to handle this stuff, you need to speak with these organizations and actually come up with something. Because otherwise, I'm going to be honest with you, all it's going to be, sadly, is 300 Twitter guys and maybe YouTube followers.
If that.
Bro, we're gonna get, bro. People think we're gonna get changed when we got CFC.
You know what's gonna be?
Bro. Like,
and I hate
come on,
to
bro,
use
give
this.
it up, bro.
I hate
People
to use
think,
this, but it's gonna
the random thing CFC JT's gonna get us the lasting change, bro. Give it up, man.
Listen, I hate to say this, man. Shout out to my Somali brother Saeed, but all it's gonna just be another Saeed. I hate to say it like that, but that's what it's gonna be.
That's nasty work, Ahmed.
It's nasty work, but it's the clearest thing to make people understand, bro. That's the word. Because if I go to Strasbourg, bro, yeah, and I look at Strasbourg thing, yeah, I know, bro, they're all together. The ultras, everyone's together.
Yeah,
they're demons. They're working together, bro. But That the problem is in England, man. Sadly, bro, the man them can get brought easily. You know what I mean? The man them, the man them ain't got the heart for it, man. They ain't got the heart for it, man. That's the reality. They ain't got the heart for it, man.
They ain't built for this life. They ain't built for this life, man.
They ain't built for it anymore, man. If this was the 70s, bro, then we built for it. But not the 2020.
Let's have it right.
Speaking of being
But would
bought,
you be at the grounds in the
speaking
70s?
of
That's
being
all I'm
bought,
saying.
I'm just saying. Speaking of being bought, let's discuss this.
Speaking of being bought, all right, the Marshall section.
Let's bring some. let's bring some truth to the table. Let's bring some truth to the table. Let's do some analysis because all this protesting and all this jazz, yeah, that's great and all in theory, but let's also understand where these guys are coming from. So the same guys, not a project, CFC, they essentially did like an article, give or take, and they released it right after our loss against PSG. So timely, but obviously it was going to get eyes on them and attention. But this is what they broke out. So major breaking, a group, and if you were on the Chelsea Hour, then you saw me read this already. But for those of you who weren't on the last show, I'm going to reiterate this. So major breaking, a group of fans met with the club director recently, and they were met with arrogance and dismissiveness, according to Not a Project. So we continue reading on. Here are some of their points. Under the departure of Maresca, the director said that the coach's overall impact is overestimated and that there is no statistical relationship between managers and results. Next point is that according to the board director, problems with Maresca stemmed from him not being offered this. Him not being offered some of the same contract details that the sporting directors have in place, probably in tandem because of this. They don't see the overall relationship of manager with the team. And by the way, the director he's speaking about, or this article speaks of, is Finkelstein, right? The communications director at Chelsea. The director could not put a timeline on when Chelsea would compete at the top again, but it was effing obvious we were building one of the best teams in the world. The director denied they were being condescending and told us we have no more right to be upset than they do, despite the fact we are paying fans. The club's effort to reduce the wage bill has been seen as a means of offsetting the spend on players so far, and the director was honest about there being no appetite to compete for the more established Premier League signings for this reason. A handful of players that have been successful for us were given as some sort of justification for this approach. And probably pointing towards Caicedo, Estevao, Palmer, so on and so forth. The club director spoke very disrespectfully about what was achieved under the previous ownership and of individuals involved in that time. In their view, the current project, consisting of vast expenditure and player churn, is the only means with which we can hope to compete at the elite level at some point in the future. Chelsea, another point here, is that Chelsea simply cannot afford to compete with the likes of Semenyo and Guehi, and that players with resale value is a more realistic approach. Whatever you say, bro. The club director expressed surprise that in view of the club still being 13 points off the top of the table this time, this has risen to 19 points as of the time of writing, in the fourth season of the transitional period, fans are not showing more patience, although the director admitted they hoped more progress this season. The other bullet point here is that Luis Enrique would not have been the right fit for us as manager, and John Terry is not the right fit professionally and should not be involved in first team affairs. More on the John Terry thing real quick. Actually, this is wrong. Right here, the parent. Dang it. There you go, Chris. Terry was asked about not being involved in the coaching staff for the Man City game. He said this: he's not annoyed, but probably more frustrated because I was certainly part of the U21s group that went over. So even if I didn't take the team, obviously Callum took the team and did really well, got a result out of the game. I feel like I should have been part of that. Now listen, people have to make the decisions. I love it when people make decisions and they go yes or no. That was what, damn it, I'm fucking this up. Hold up, guys. That was what Terry said. He also said, and clearly the ownership or whoever made those decisions, the sporting directors have gone. No, not to include me for whatever reason. Why, I don't know. So he said that, and also the ownership said this. John Terry caused bewilderment within the club after claiming he was frustrated at being overlooked as caretaker role for the season. So yeah, they don't want anyone involved with the old project, nothing to do with it at all. And then more so, PYS mentioned, after arriving for the meeting, let me make this bigger right here. After arriving for the meeting, we were kept waiting in the foyer of the building for a while as the club director was in another meeting with Chelsea supporting content creator Matisse Armani.
Okay, let's not do that.
No, we'll talk about it. All right. Once the meeting began, it became very clear to us on the club's primary motivation for the meeting was to effectively present to us a sales pitch to attempt to talk us around their way of thinking. We were told in no uncertain terms that despite having the highest net spend in the Premier League on new players since Blue Coast takeover, that the club is struggling to compete financially with Europe's top clubs. So yeah, that was a mouthful.
Marshall, can I want to add context before you go. I don't on a certain guy. You know, Daniel Finkelstein is an interesting character. I would encourage people to really do their background research on Daniel Finkelstein. So Daniel Finkelstein essentially is a spin doctor. So for those who don't know what a spin doctor is, those are guys that like essentially work with a politician to get them elected, right? They do the tactics, they give stuff to the newspapers and stuff like that, polling, getting them elected and giving them phrases to say, etc., etc., right? Now, he was one that actually helped to get David Cameron into office back in 2010 in the coalition government. The reason why I bring up was he was a really good spin doctor, essentially, guys. Okay? He knows how to talk, he knows how to get stuff to work, and it's no coincidence, in my personal opinion, that he's one of the directors at the football club. And I'm not saying that to discredit him. I'm actually, this is me giving him credit. It's one of the reasons why he's in there, because he's good at what he does, right? And that's the reason why you can see what he's trying to do, right? Trying to bring in a lot of these content creators, obviously, and to speak with these guys, because this is stuff that he does already, that he's done previously in his political career, right? Where he used to speak with the newspapers, whether it be the right-wing newspapers, the left-wing, whatever you want to call it, right? And speak to some of these journalists, right? To feed them the information and to be able to obviously try to get them to get towards his viewpoint. That's the one thing I wanted to point out in terms of him.
Sure. I'll also point this out. Matisse did address this, and in his address, essentially, said what they discuss, and what they discuss is nothing new to us and nothing new to the vast majority of Chelsea fans. It's all stuff that we already know in terms of what their ambition is. It's essentially the rundown that these guys got. They also mentioned that there were other content creators that they were meeting with, but they didn't name drop them either, which I thought was a little odd. They just name dropped Matisse Armani. And listen, whether Matisse is a brown envelope or not, I genuinely don't think he's a brown envelope. But to an extent, you also, Matisse, if you're watching this, you also can't play dumb and you come out in the Big Six and says you didn't think it was a big deal. Brother, you're meeting with the director of the club. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. You have more access than most people. And that apparently he's open to the public, which I find hard to believe considering this hasn't been done previously. When we had the initial protests, so on and so forth. Like, I don't know.
So is he trying to tell me if he gets an email from the Bridge Nation 258, he's opening it up and he's being like, yeah, you know what? Let's set up a time. I'll hop on stream.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I find that hard to believe.
Is that what Matisse wants me to believe, bro?
Spam folder.
That's what I don't think. I'll make it clear. Like my stance, I'll make my stance clear. Like I don't think there was ill intentions of Matisse, and I think this is lack of thinking, in my opinion. I feel like he genuinely believes it was a nothing meeting that he wasn't going to mention anything. But obviously, brother, you're an influencer, and to an extent, you're a big mouthpiece for Chelsea fans and everything. A lot of people watch you. When you meet with a director in any sense, it's kind of a big deal.
What I would say to obviously back Matisse here a little bit is that not a project mentioned initially that they signed the NDA or something like that, right? So
I maybe don't remember that. But
that was they did. That was something that was actually mentioned in one of the initial tweets, essentially that they were under NDA, so they couldn't say who the director was and all this other stuff around about that. So maybe Matisse himself was also on some level under some level of NDA, right? Himself, right? Which this is me kind of obviously giving him the benefit of the doubt, right? As well. I just think, listen, in general, the one thing I will say about what Not All Project did is that if there were other content creators, this is actually a much wider point. There was other.
This is a Matisse tweet, by the way. Here you go.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. You continue going. People can read.
So I was making the point. They made the point that there was other content creators, but they only mentioned Matisse, which was kind of nasty work from that side. True. Who are these other content creators that also meted them? Because for me, that's actually a much bigger topic to be had.
Yes.
Right?
That's what I'm telling you.
Who are these other guys that are meeting the club?
Who's staying quiet? Who's staying quiet, bro? Who's staying quiet?
Exactly.
The only thing though is if like my only issue with Matisse is just that he should have got out in front of it. Like he could have said, if he would have said that, because he's very like I watch his content and I actually think he's a pretty good representation of like the normal Chelsea fan base. Like you know what I mean? But he's very adamant about Luco out. He's very adamant about, you know, these owners and the sporting directors suck and all that stuff. He's been to the protests, and so I don't doubt his intentions. I'm just like, brother, if you wanted to help yourself out before these people name dropped you, because they obviously name dropped him because they knew it was going to gain traction with Chelsea fans online. So I'm like, but maybe that's just part of just, you know,
this is why I don't buy the naivety thing. I'm so sorry. Like, you are a grown man. This guy is in front of TVs. This guy is, you know, doing major talk sports stuff. I'm not buying the naivety thing, and I'm telling you exactly why. Because there's two ways of that this went down. If you signed an NDA, then you couldn't talk about it, right? However, by signing an NDA, you are now limiting your own free speech in exchange for access to the club and access to a director. That's what it is. It's that simple. You sign an NDA, now you have gained access to a part of Chelsea you would not otherwise have, and that the general public does not have. Even if we wanted to sign an NDA, we're like a regular person, they don't care about us, but they do care about your opinion. They do care about what you're saying on these social platforms. So they invited you in, and you signed an NDA, which you're giving up your free speech to get access to the director, right? So in that way, you can't blame people then, or you can't be too aggressive with people thinking that you might be this or that, because at the end of the day, you did sign away part of your free speech for access to the club. On the other hand, if you did not sign an NDA and you stayed quiet, even if what he says, and we take it at face value, and that they said nothing new that we did not already know, it is still valuable in and of itself for the fan base to know that a director at the club wanted to have a gathering of all these social media influencers and all these and Chelsea personalities to be able to talk with them one-on-one. This is still valuable information to know, even if the contents of what was talked about was nothing we didn't already know. So for me, either way you look at it, it's not a good look. And I get why people are upset. Do I think Matisse is a brown envelope? No. I don't think that Matisse is a brown envelope. Do I think that he's completely scot-free? No, because at the end of the day, he could have rejected the NDA and then come public and said, listen, I got invited to a private meeting, but I need to sign an NDA. However, I'm not comfortable with restricting my free speech for access to the club. Simple.
When did the meeting take place?
But you know, but you know why he didn't do that?
It took place in January.
It took place in
after
February.
Brentford. After Brentford, basically, it happened after Brentford.
Yeah, that's way too long. Like, if he didn't sign an NDA and he didn't.
If he didn't sign an NDA, he was taking this to the grave. It's that simple, bro. If he didn't sign an NDA, he was taking this to the grave, bro. And for me, that's what I said. That's where all the criticism for me is valid. And then furthermore, I'm not even like want to drive exactly Matisse, but I'm more upset at the other cowards that we now know were in the room and are letting him take all the heat for this when they were also there.
But if he did sign an NDA, I'm assuming what he says in this tweet that Marshall has up probably violates it. Depending on what the NDA.
I also think, but here's the other thing. Here's his side of the argument, real quick, before we go into that. What Ahmed's gonna say, I think to an extent, like obviously he still, even after that date of after the Brentford game, he still came out and very publicly criticized Luco and the directors and very much like that. So yeah, that's what he has in terms of his argument of things of not coming out with this sooner. Listen, where I stand on this. Even if you did sign or didn't sign an NDA and didn't come out with this, I, to an extent, have come to a point in my life where, in terms of the politics of things, sometimes you have to play nice with the people in power to make anything happen. So from that point of view, I don't mind if Matisse is going to start being a brown envelope and paid for that, because if there's any content creator out there that I trust to actually do something in the right influence, in the right direction, it is going to be Matisse and maybe a select few others. So if the scenario is I'm gonna play nice so that I can have this inside scoop, so that I can try to do something from this connection that not many people have access to, then I will shut the fuck up and I won't talk about it and I'll keep the secret so that I can have this connection and maybe do something about it.
Who do we like? Let's play the
fuck.
rumor game. Who do we think the other content? Because I
have one
a good
person,
idea
KG.
of
KG,
who-
I already. I can tell you one
See,
person.
Ahmed, hold up. Ahmed
KG,
knows. Ahmed knows who it is.
I can tell you. So
Hold on.
No,
No, don't tell. Well, before you tell us, let us play a get. Like,
Wait,
let us
so- no,
guess.
no.
No. I just want to give you a little hint.
Okay.
Someone came to the UK after the Brentford game. You know, he's in with us right now. That's all I have to say.
All right.
You know,
That's
I couldn't get.
That's got to be.
Are you serious?
So
Are you serious?
Oh, you said Peter's a brown envelope.
Ahmed's onto something.
So it's gotta be-
I don't
So it's
think it's
Peter.
George.
I told you guys we were getting to the Marshall
I don't
segment.
think it's
Y'all
George
didn't believe
Benson.
me.
So that the stream I was referring to earlier, the CB,
Yeah.
Matisse, and that one, Benson said I did talk to Finkelstein, the day before the Club World Cup final. I had a
Okay.
chat with him because they ran into each other, something like that, and had a chat, and he was doing the same political bullshit of like, hey, look at how we're doing, and at that point, George Benson's like, I can see what you're kind of doing because we're in the fucking final. Right at that point, this is when we're a day before the Club World Cup final. At least with Matisse, based on the stream, because I watched like the whole CB stream of that section. Matisse is like, hey, I know I'm an influencer, I get the power, but I don't want to be a Chelsea representative. I don't want to be your voice because there's 500 fractions of you guys. We have the match going fans, we have this fans, we have what. I don't want to be your voice. I have my own voice. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, he says, I have my own voice. You guys know it well. I've continued peddling that in terms of I don't trust this process and whatnot. I brought that up. I don't think he mentioned an NDA at all. And I think the other issue is he didn't say this part. But if he brought this up and brought out that there were other content creators, he would have started a shitstorm.
Probably.
In the Chelsea community. Right? So I think what's happened is this person, what is this account called?
Definitely don't want to burn bridges. Not a Project CFC.
Thank you. So he's obviously not a journalist. So he's not going to give Matisse a heads up like, hey, I'm going to post this article.
Yeah,
it's going to have your name on it. Because he's not a journalist. There's no process that he needs to do that, right? A journalist most likely has to do that process. And he knows what he's doing, this project guy. He wants the clicks.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And if George Benson, based on what George is saying, wasn't at this meeting, because he's probably still in Dubai, then the second biggest account in terms of numbers is what? Matisse in the Chelsea community, besides Rory Jennings. Fuck him. But besides Rory Jennings, it's George Benson and then probably Matisse in terms of numbers. So obviously he's going to put Matisse as the front runner in terms of names and drop him, and without even telling him. Because Matisse is thinking, if I bring this up to the public whenever that happened, then I also mentioned, was it a one-on-one? People will ask him, was it a one-on-one? He says no. Then what? Then he's going to say there were other content creators. And if he leaves it at just other content creators, then they're like, who are you hiding? Just like how we're questioning this article. Right? And if he names and shames the people, then it's like the whole fucking community is going to implode. And for the most part, besides the Rory Jennings faction and the Let's Have a Right guy, I'm fucking forgetting his name.
Honestly, like after something I saw today, I wouldn't be surprised if Jennings was there because I
wouldn't be surprised either.
I saw a quote from him today that said that. So Chelsea play Spurs on the second to last game of the season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, and I quote, well, not exactly, but I'm paraphrasing, that would mean more to him than winning the FA Cup. For an ownership that don't care about trophies, like,
bro,
just saying.
So I just think Matisse was in a tough spot where, of course, now his name's come out, so everyone's like, why the fuck were you hiding this? But if he brought it out himself, then he's gonna. This Chelsea fan community, at least on YouTube side, is really more kumbaya than if you see the United one, you got Goldbridge in one section, you got Saeed in another, like that's faction. For the most part, Lewis is chill with Matisse, is chill with, other side of the coin with all these people. If he brought this up and said, hey, there were other content creators and didn't name them, or if he named them, then the whole scene is fucked. And we already have a fraction.
No, my thing, hold up, but that's my point. That's why I'm not saying Matisse shouldn't name them. I'm saying this is where now.
No, but I'm saying that's why
it's a thing whereby it's a thing by nobody stepping up and saying, "Hey, I was also at this meeting," right? If they again, if they signed an NDA, then they again, like I said before, they signed away a part of their free speech to get access to the club. And if they didn't sign the NDA and they're staying quiet, then they're all happy to let Matisse take the heat and them to take no heat. But now within the fan base, we're all looking around and saying, okay, so who are the people who are in that room who are not speaking up?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think everyone at the content creator at that space was ready to die with that secret. But this guy's account that brought it up is like, hey, I got this information. I'm gonna get the followers I need for this protest or just for my public image. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna bring this up. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna get clicks. Yeah, I'm gonna get so much traction.
Yeah. So it's gotta be somebody. It's gotta be some people that
I literally got a secret that no one knows apparently, and I can drop the face of the second biggest or third biggest account in the Chelsea scene, and just name drop other content creators just to throw him under the bus. I know you tell me all this shit. Hell yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, no, that's why I feel like I don't think there's anything nefarious in terms of this end of the thing of Matisse. Like I do believe like even if I'm in that situation where I have to sign an NDA, if it means I can actually be in the director's ear and try to influence something, then I think I do value that relationship and maintaining that relationship so that I can actually do something towards
okay, but
where
again,
I want the club to go.
But again, Marshall, but then you see how that looks from the other side, right?
Yep.
Like you have now signed a legal document where your relationship and your conversations with this person is not legally allowed to be known by anybody in the public sphere, as you are a front-facing Chelsea person in all social media. Like that's going to make you look bad. People are going to suspect because you know the contents of your meeting with the director. You know what you're doing, but you are not allowed to speak on it.
Because people are always going to assume the worst, right? Like that's the issue. People are going to say,
that's the thing,
envelope, just like whatever.
But this is
real quick. Oh yeah, you're a brown envelope. You were talking to them, but like, no one ever assumes like, because even in politics we see this all the time. Like some people start to play nice, they get voted into office, they play nice, but then you realize like, okay, there's a strategy here of like give a little to get a little, like gain some traction.
That
and
never
it
happens
can't
in
just
politics. I'm not sure.
But yeah, to an extent it does. But
no. Like that is exactly what happens in politics.
Yeah, the cookie cutter.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you play nice, you can make a difference. Because if he were to break that deal, right? If it was an NDA or not, or if he were to come out and then that looks bad on him, and Finkelstein is like, "I'm never going to invite you again," then first of all, anyone named Finkelstein invited me anywhere, that's a big.
When I Google this picture, he looks like a Finkelstein.
For me
personally, real quick, before you go, just to finish my point, is that like. Okay, at that point, if I don't have that relationship with Finkelstein anymore, then I'm just like any other fan, and I can't make any more of a difference than you guys on this YouTube space and Twitter space or whatever.
You know what's interesting though? Real quick, I mean, I know you wanted to chime in, but I've heard two. So Expressions is he's by far the biggest Spurs content creator, and then
100%.
Big Steve is by far the biggest like city not content creator, but he's by far the biggest city fan.
Rep.
Yeah. I've heard both of them say that they turned down. So Big Steve used to be an ambassador for the club, but then he stopped when he started. He was like, I need to criticize Man City about like their ticket sales and stuff like that and raising prices. And Expressions was the same way. He said, if I sign that and I signed to become an official ambassador for Spurs, I'm not allowed to criticize them. And if I can't criticize them, then I'm not being true to who I am as a fan, my audience and stuff like that. So I think it depends on how big you are, like what is content creating like your main source of income? Is it in your personal situation and stuff like that? But it works both ways. Like some people just want to keep that honesty and say, you know what? Yeah, I'll turn down, because we don't know like the brown envelopes. I mean, the only person, we just have Ahmed to go off with brown envelopes and how big they are and stuff like that. So like maybe it's not enough. Like maybe they're not offering them enough to silence their tongues, so to speak.
You know, I've got a few points to say, yeah. So
There's a K a week, bro.
I know all of us here we joke about me being brown envelope. I'm definitely not brown envelope, guys.
Yeah, he says that, and yet I see him pictured. I see him pictured with industry insiders.
I can't. Okay. Oh my god, this is mad. But like, one thing I actually agree with like stuff like what's it called that Big Steve stuff do. I personally am of the view, if I'm gonna do stuff for content of the club, bro, I have to be happy with what the club is doing in general, right? Sure. The moment I'm gonna criticize something, bro, I can't be an insider, because at that point, it doesn't work. It can't work that way. And I think part of the problem always is it's particularly if you're a content creator these days. If I'm gonna meet someone, guys, I'm meeting this guy. Hopefully, you know, I can get some answers. I'm going to let you guys know what's going to happen. I think from that perspective, I think that's a good perspective to have. But I think when you start reaching levels, obviously, as a content creator where, you know, maybe on Sky Sports, maybe you're on Talk Sports, you know, the boundary changes, bro. The situation changes. I'm going to be honest. It does. Luckily,
that was Finkelstein in the back of Ahmed's camera yelling.
Yeah, Matisse, bro.
Off to the side, Ahmed got a gun to his head right now, bro.
I know. No, bring your head to the left, Ahmed. Go ahead. Alright.
No. But like the point I make there is just that yes, like when you reach some of these levels, guys, the situation does change. And I think for me, when that stuff happens to you, you have to realize, what am I content with actually? That's another thing I think a lot of people don't realize. You know, if you become a really big YouTuber and you become like a big content creator for like Chelsea as Matisse is right now, there is a level of which guys are following you and hoping that you can do something too. I know that you may not want to be a leader, but the reality is sometimes you have to become the reluctant leader. That's the best way to put it, right? Because that's just what the situation kind of entails at times. But you know, it's all well and good saying you're a disgrace for going to the game. I actually am not going to the game, by the way, Abu. I don't know if you
sell your ticket.
I just told Lewis I'm not going to accept the ticket, sadly. So I can't accept the ticket on that one. Sorry, bro. Sorry. But you know, but like I just think for me from that certain perspective, it's just. When you become very big, guys, there's an unfortunate situation that happens that becomes up on you, and you can not want something, but it's gonna happen to you. Because like other than Matisse, who's like you can say Roy Jones is obviously the number one, but how Roy Jones, I don't know how big he is truly online in the sense of like
what.
Well, no one likes him, so
no one likes him. What I mean,
He still gets views.
No. It's not about views, Marshall. I'm talking about in terms of like supporters, guys that actually like, you know.
But the thing is too though, Ahmed, kind of going off of what you're saying, like I find it hard to believe that Matisse is working for Blueco. One, based off of like,
I don't think he's working for Blueco,
or getting paid by Blueco or the directors or whatever, or in their payroll, whatever you want to say. I find it hard to believe just because, one, the criticism that he's always lambasting them with game after game. But not only that, like, look at people who are actually on the inside. Like, who's the content creator with the curly hair? Zach Jenna?
The Jab or something like that?
He's employed by the media team.
He's employed by the media team. You see how he acts game after game versus Matisse? It's a contrast difference.
Yeah.
Like, he is someone that works for the club, works inside the club and stuff, and he's never
going
to come out.
You can tell 100% by how he talks, how he acts. Yeah, he's
look at Jason Cundy as well.
Jason as well. Jason's
Jason Cundy is a bit more. He's more critical than the Zach guy. He's more critical than the Zach guy, but still.
You know who's a good example of what you're talking about? Pat Nevin. Pat Nevin was a club guy. He was a club man. Obviously, he started criticizing them while he was still doing the club commentary.
Yeah, which is a no-no.
And they booted him out, right? Yeah. But I don't listen. I agree that Matisse obviously is not a what's it called brown envelope. You know, I know Matisse a little bit from like my time being a mod for him, right? But like I just think for me when it comes to that I think the issue becomes like, for example, TalkSport, for example, right? I'm sure the club has connections to TalkSport, guys.
100%. 100%.
Does the club not have connection to Sky Sports? Let's keep it real, lads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Every club, every big club.
But you know what I mean when I say this sort of thing, right? And so, like, you know, what you say and what you do is then gonna be, they can do something to limit you on in terms of what that sort of thing.
They could also, bro. They could also blackball you. This is what it is. That's what I told you, bro. You gotta play nice. That's what I'm telling you. When Marshall said, "Oh, he gotta play nice to maybe get in with the directors," I said this too on the Chelsea hour when I went on. Is that you got to keep in mind as well? Like Matisse is just now breaking into the mainstream.
True.
Right. He's just now breaking into the mainstream. He's doing this thing on a bunch of different platforms. So he's breaking out of the YouTube sphere. And in order to get a foothold in mainstream media, you have to realize that like these guys who own Chelsea, they're very well connected, bro. If you think they can't pay off, like these journalists can't pay off these companies, like, hey, listen, when it's time for contract renewals, Just let him know that you're not interested in working with him anymore, so, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Let's say for next season, you're looking to go in a different direction. There's a million different ways that they can exude their power to stop him from continuing to grow himself as a professional in his industry and his passions, et cetera, et cetera. So he knows, for example, it's like, oh, they invite me. If I say, oh, I'm not going to go, and I put them on blast, right? He knows I'm relegating myself to just the YouTube sphere. I'm not going to be able to break into the mainstream after this.
Yeah.
But
there are limits to that.
But again, that's what I'm saying. It's a balancing act. That's what I'm telling you. It's a balancing act because he knows that he needs to play nice, but at the same time, like you are going to give up a level of transparency and honesty with the audience that you've built up.
The thing with these outlets though is there's a limit to that because like Rory, I'll bring up Rory Jennings again. Rory Jennings has a show on TalkSport. He lambasts these owners every single second he gets.
Yeah,
and like I'm sure these clubs do have some sort of hand in different like Talk Sports and Skies. They would shut Rory Jennings down if they wanted to.
Wait. No, but you know what it is?
If they could.
Hold on, but Ahmed knows, bro. Like Rory Jennings, that brother got connects, in, like you know, he got family insider. Is all you need to know, bro.
But you know, I would also add, sorry, KG, this is my last bit. Then I'm gonna be a bit really quiet because I'm watching some wrestling right now. But okay, I want to just make this clear. I think the other point with a guy like a Rory Jennings. What time slot is Rory Jennings on? I think that's another key thing that people forget.
Morning, right?
Time slot.
He's more usually a morning guy.
No, it's the evening. It's a really late in the evening.
Is it?
I
don't know.
It's either early in the morning or late in the evening, from what I remember. Right? It's not in a time slot where you know a lot of guys are going to be watching and listening to you, with all due respect. But that's the time slot that he's in. Right? I think it's on a Saturday or Sunday. A Saturday evening, I'm sorry to you lads. Guys are going out for drinks, watching something that's going on, the boxing or something that's happening on the day. No one is going to be listening to TalkSport at that time of the evening. I'm going to be just objective with you guys.
Yeah. It's, I mean, but you know, but all those guys, like all the, I don't watch TalkSport because there's no need to because you can get the same opinion.
No, it's just bad.
Yeah. But everyone that I've ever seen on there, like all the clips, so I've seen Roy Jennings, I've seen Matisse's clips on there. 99% of them are bad representation. Like if they were paid by Chelsea, they wouldn't be paid very long by Chelsea for what they say. No. And it's not like they're, you know, they make, like, the good thing about those two guys is they're good content creators because they're able to get their points out in an articulate way so that you know what side of the fence they, they're good presenters and they have good speaking voices and things like that. But they're never, at least since, like, I've seen them on there post Roman, right? So Blueco, there's been nothing positive about Chelsea post, other than this past summer with the Club World Cup. Like even the Conference League, it was like, all right, we won it. We were supposed to win it. We probably lost money actually being in that competition, but there was nothing to actually, you know, there's not much positivity around the club, and there hasn't really been since the Champions League and since, you know, Blueco took over and and all that stuff.
And on to your point too, KG, the only one on TalkSport that I know of that even speaks highly of Chelsea is Simon Jordan, and most of the time he's speaking highly on the ownership. He praises that Bowley knows what he's doing, and I've spoken to the ownership in Clear Lake, and they are very competent, and they know.
Simon Jordan looks at football through a completely different lens to anyone.
It's very weird the way he looks at football. I don't know how that guy.
Well, because he used to own a club. He's a former club owner.
Oh, okay.
Who did he own?
Yeah.
That's why he owned Palace.
Oh, really?
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how he knows all the like ins and outs of things.
And that's why he got relegated too.
Hey, listen, I didn't say at a high level. I'm just saying he knows some stuff. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty high level. I mean, I know Palace, when he owned Palace, they probably were in the championship, but still.
Like he knows how agents work. He knows like certain operating practices.
He's got
he
the
knows
inside of what happened.
Yeah.
But
and he has connections as well. Like he supposedly knows why, like the ins and outs of why Tuchel got sacked.
I would love to hear like unfiltered opinions from other owners, agents, other sporting directors from other clubs about what they think. Like if you could get them down, like get them at a bar, get some drinks in them, and then just be like, what do you think of the Chelsea project and what they're doing over there?
They think we're jokes, bro. They think we're jokes. The
Yo,
reports are
I
saying
They're
that.
laughing, man, bro. They like 55 million for Gittins. They're laughing.
Yeah, I mean, but I bet you they know so much more, like inside, the details and things like that, just because of their relationships. And oh my god, I bet you.
I was saying that earlier because, like, to me, it doesn't make sense how you financially leave 15 or 20 million a year on the table for a front of shirt sponsor. Like, that makes no sense to me. So I'm like, there's no way. How? First of all, anyone who says, okay, there's a certain truth to it, right? Where like these billionaires, they're not the most smart people. But you can't say they don't know how to make money. You don't necessarily accidentally become a billionaire.
In different fields.
Like in different fields, exactly. So it shows the incompetence once you enter the sporting field. Maybe that's where the incompetence comes in. Because like, I don't know. Like, to me, there must be something on the inside that we're not seeing that makes it make sense. That I can be like, oh, okay, I understand now why you're doing that. Because just sheer incompetency, I find it so hard to believe. But it could be, what's that theory of like sometimes the most obvious answer is what's in front of you? It could be that too. So it could be that they are actually incompetent.
Sorry, Marshall. I had another thought real quickly. The other thing about just like from a content viewpoint, yeah.
Sure.
I'll be honest. From a Chelsea content viewpoint, I know I've mentioned this to you privately, but like the viewership for Chelsea YouTubers has declined over the last year or two. This is me being honest.
You think so?
Yes, I think so. Like,
I would think that it would be. I always think the worse your club does, like the worse if you're a Big Six club, the worse you do. Like to me, Man United last year when they were in the pits, right? 15 losing to Spurs, their content creators crashing out every week. Like for me, I always thought that would get you more views than if Man United's at the top.
No, because after a while,
the thing is though, we don't have an AFTV and we don't have an Anfield agenda.
When we were covering, like just from experience alone, we were covering that Potter season. A lot of Chelsea fans just checked out. A lot of Chelsea casuals just literally just checked out. Like even I stopped watching as much content because I just didn't want to be reminded every single time how shit we are. So
like, also the other thing is that we don't have like a central channel where the rivals converge on whenever there's a bad result. We don't have an AFTV. We don't have an Anfield
Chelsea
agenda.
TV,
we don't have an Expressions. That's not a bad thing. Like I think there are a lot of good content creators, and that's why there's not a clear standout.
Yeah,
but that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I mean, I know we focus mostly on Matisse, but the other things too that they mentioned about they don't see the correlation between a manager and results.
These guys are idiots,
they're sticking. Bro. Yeah, they're idiots, man. They're sticking to their guns on their project. They're not planning to change. And you know what? That's the thing. Like,
why don't we just hire some random guy off the streets then?
That's one of the worst. That's one of the worst quotes I've ever heard.
That's kind of what they want to say. That's kind of what they want to do.
But you see, yesterday when I was having that conversation with Peter Marshall, and you were saying, and Peter was saying to me, you know, if these guys, do bad, they're gonna change essentially, right? This is what I'm talking.
The directors.
This is what I'm like.
Hopefully.
No, it's not gonna happen. Even though yes, I want them to feel pain, and I'm hoping. If you listen to what these guys are saying, it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. Even if they go down. Like not go down, but like obviously look at European football.
Go down is crazy, bro.
Well, that's why we have to test the waters at the very least.
Relax.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, that's okay. So, in terms of, and I feel like every summer's a big summer, but in terms of this summer in particular, if we don't make Europe, it's going to be very interesting to see how these directors move.
Brother, If we don't make Europe, all I'm telling you is Strasbourg doesn't have a starting 11. It's that simple, bro. I'm letting you know right now, bro.
I do want to know who stays and who goes, like, with Chelsea if we don't get European football this year.
Yeah, because now we're hearing about Enzo Fernandez, which I'll talk about that in the next show.
I know Reece James won't go, but like, like Lavia, Cole Palmer,
Reece James, man,
for sure.
That's my guy, bro. That's my captain.
Now Reece,
the wheels fall off, man.
I just want
unless we have anything else to mention. I do think I want to move on to Reece, which is the next topic. Unless you guys want to mention anything else about this silly article.
Nah.
I just think the Matisse thing's a massive piece of nothing.
We're finished.
That's me.
We're finished, Ahmed? All right. I know. We already knew, Ahmed. We already knew. I got my last brown envelope when I visited London. After that, no more brown envelopes.
They cut
I
you off.
just
They
got
cut me off.
10K.
They cut me off, man.
I just got 10K yesterday. Big up, man.
This guy.
Feels a K a week, bro.
All right, let's go on to the next topic, man.
That's a good one.
Chris, this is
Oh,
all
Reece
you-
James. This is like the only positive thing that's come out of this whole thing, and you could tell
Well,
they
it's been
had
negative
that
for 3
locked
hours
and
straight.
loaded in the chamber for when
Yes.
they had this result. So let's talk about Reece motherfucking James and his brand new contract.
Bro, to be fair though, they also had the academy kids on fucking lockdown because they had mad academy kids in like the video too, and none of them
I'll
said
show you
anything.
the
So
video. I'll show the video. But yeah, Reece James, our captain, man. Appreciate.
So which
you.
of these attributes is your best?
Crosshair, vision, free kicks, defending.
Anything we've missed out?
You've missed lots.
Yeah, tell it like it is, bro. You could do everything. But yeah, Reece James only has eyes set for Chelsea. He wants to stay and continue to be captain. I believe he is a Chelsea lifer. Chelsea aren't rushing his contract because they have no fear he wants to leave, which is coming from Alex Goldberg, March 6th. So fast forward to earlier this week. Fabrizio Romano comes out and says the following: Reece James signs new Chelsea deal until 2032. I'm over the moon to have extended my contract. Chelsea means so much to me. Have always said I want my peak years to be here, and I truly believe we have everything it takes to build on our previous successes. Reece James's renewal was done quickly. I wonder why. With the Chelsea captain never in doubt about staying. He is now on incentive-driven terms like the rest of the squad. Despite suggestions, it is not thought Chelsea will be forced into unwanted sales despite posting a 407 million euro pre-tax loss. I understand other contract renewals will now follow. So, of course, our favorite sporting directors, Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart, came out and said, on behalf of ownership and everyone connected to Chelsea, it is a proud moment for all of us to have Reece extend his contract. He is a leader of this team, both on and off the pitch. Reece knows what it means to wear this badge and having committed his long-term future to Chelsea. We're looking forward to continuing the journey and working towards future successes together. He also here, exclusive, Reece James has committed a long-term future to CFC by signing a new 6-year deal to stay at Stamford Bridge. The captain's previous deal expired in 2038. The announcement of Reece James staying will be welcomed by everyone in the dressing room, although it will surely prompt others to try and renegotiate as well. Reece has this to say: I'm excited for the future under this ownership, sporting directors, coach, and all the staff. And
I'm sorry they made you
lift-
like captain, but I get it, man.
Sometimes you got to play nice. That's the unfortunate part, right? And hopefully we will lift many more trophies together over the coming years. I'm over the moon to have extended my contract. Chelsea means so much to me. I have always said I want my peak year. Okay, I read this already. Reece James, on what was told by CFC hierarchy during the contract talks, I wanted to make sure that the direction and vision was aligned, and for sure everyone from the top and bottom is aligned. The club's ambition is to win. Well, I just told you that for the sake of it. Reece James, could I get more money elsewhere? Maybe, but money is not the be all and end all. Happiness where I want to be means more to me. I want to win here, and we will win here. And I hope you're right, man.
I feel so sorry for him, bro.
I do too.
I feel so sorry for him, but also like,
I feel so sorry for
You gotta
Reece
make
James,
Ahmed
bro.
cash out because he doesn't want
I
to.
do not feel sorry for
There
Reece.
it
I'm
is.
can you kick him? Can you kick him, bro? I'm not following
Just one second. Let me finish reading. And you can do what you want. Let me finish reading, and you can do what you want. I don't want to kick Ahmed. No one, unless he gets 2 yellows or straight red. No one can say Reece James has not earned a new deal for Chelsea. He has had to overcome one of the most difficult situations a professional can go through to get to this juncture. It is to James's credit that he has been able to come back from all the setbacks he has suffered to prove himself all over again. He has played on a consistent basis for nearly 15 months now to a very high standard. Chelsea and England are simply ones to benefit from it. And I'll come back to this chart afterwards so we can see the minutes played he has. But yeah, Reece had this to say, a little note. 2006, a kid arrived at Chelsea with a dream in his heart, boots too big for his feet, but belief from the start. Fast forward to 2026, still wearing the same blue shirt with the same fire inside. This club raised me, shaped me, and gave me a place to call home. Though every game, every battle, every lesson I've grown, or through every game, every battle, every lesson I've grown. Now the journey rolls on. The dream's still true. Extend till 2032 and still bleeding blue. Little rhyming there. Man's got bars. And then an open letter that he had to the Chelsea supporters. Chelsea is special. I've always known it, I've always felt it, and it is why I had no hesitation to extending my time here. I've supported the club for as long as I can remember. My love has never changed. I have the same feeling wearing a Chelsea shirt as I did when I was 6 years old. It matters to me every time. So when I'm out on the pitch, battling for the ball or trying to get us forward, know I'm one of you, that I feel what you feel. I'm representing our club, just in a different way. So many of my childhood memories involve Chelsea. Our games meant so much to me. My brother Josh was a Manchester United supporter. Laura and I were Chelsea. You know the finals we played against them over the years. There was rivalry in our house. We lived football, playing, watching, learning. My vision was always to play for Chelsea. Even once would have been enough for me. So to have achieved what I have, I can honestly say it is a dream come true. But I want more. That's the Chelsea mentality. It was drilled into me in the academy. It's what I learned from the legends of this club that I watched at Stamford Bridge. It is the example I set as captain. I remember watching us win the Champions League in 2012. What a night. Didier Drogba, my childhood idol, helping us become European champions. Then, 9 years later, I got to live the experience in Porto. Another dream fulfilled. I felt the same pride last summer winning the Conference League, my first trophy as captain. What a feeling. But we weren't done. It's that Chelsea mentality I was talking about. We go again. We push for more, and we become world champions. Lifting the trophy in New York is something I'll never forget. It showed the world's best of Chelsea. It demonstrated what's in our DNA. Damn straight. You, the supporters, are part of that. You make Stamford Bridge special. You drive us to the difficult moments. Know that it is always appreciated. Know that it has been crucial to our successes. Personally, I will be forever grateful for the support you've shown me from the debut against Grimsby Town to the present day. You know it's not always been easy, and there have been challenges, but you stuck by me throughout. Chris especially. Hopefully in the seasons to come, I can repay that further. My journey with Chelsea has lasted almost 20 years, but there's still so much more to come. I'm convinced that what we're building here under this ownership, the sporting directors, coach, squad, and all the staff, we all want more success. We all want to lift more trophies. We all want to create more lasting memories. As Chelsea captain, I'll do all I can to make that happen. As Chelsea supporters, I truly hope it does. See you all at the bridge, Reece. And this is the video that they have for him that RSM was referring to. But yeah, man, I'm happy Reece is re-signing. I know KG, me, you, I think even RSM was there. We had that discussion. We were kind of nervous that they would offer him such a low ball, offer that would actually force him to leave, which I could see happening. He got paid a little bit of a wage cut, Chris, because that's what you're gonna ask, I'm sure.
He's on incentivized wages.
He took a base wage, but if he hits all the incentive, he's making more than his original contract.
Because
well, we're never gonna know.
Is it on the club to get his wage up, or is it on him? And if it's on him, he's gonna do it most likely.
It's gonna have to be on him, I'm sure.
No, it's. I think he's not. He's not making. He's definitely not making 250K anymore base. I doubt they would knock him down to like a 150, bro. Just because he's on 250, that's probably too much. He's probably like around 200.
He should be on 300 easily.
No, I agree, but he's probably on 200 with the ability to get to 300 with the incentivized.
Man, I wish saves like appearances and like goals, assists, clean sheets, or whatever. Like, then he'll knock out the park. Like, and if the injury record as well is looking very good from the last 12 months, I would say. It's been
I'd assume it's mostly appearance based, just to safeguard them in case anything happens.
I mean, no, that's fair enough. But if it's on the club winning trophies and what,
no, yeah, I'm assuming it's probably appearances and UCL.
Yeah,
I hope so. Because he deserves
I wish they would publicize that stuff. I wish they would publicize what the add-ons and transfers are in order to meet the add-ons. It just creates too much.
Gotta keep it a secret.
Yeah, it just creates too much unknown. And then people just start running with it. Well, it could be this, it could be that. This is what they're really on. It's just the way they do wages over there is just it's madness to me.
I just wonder if he will win the Premier League before he
I hope so, man. Retire. I really
He's 26, yeah.
Bro, it's up to us to get him.
It's up to Chelsea, to build around him. You build 11 Reece James, you'll win the Premier League.
Bro, he's good enough. Again, the report came out that one of the Prem clubs I was looking at him was Man City, but he never gave any kind of opening for them to even try to get in the door.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys think that he like take the Chelsea bias aside and that we all love Chelsea? Do you think that he made a mistake given how good of a player he is?
Yes.
Yes,
Of
bro.
course.
Yeah.
Of course,
As
bro.
a
He
player
could have
who can
gone.
win more
He could
trophies,
have.
but
He could have gone anywhere, bro. There's very few teams in the entirety of Europe that would have said no to him.
Make sure he doesn't have Duolingo
right now,
finish.
please. Right now, please.
I told him to
Well,
mute
it
him, but
makes
no, he
him
didn't want to
happy,
mute
though.
Ahmed. There you
Like,
go, man.
Chelsea makes him happy.
Reece could be right now.
Yes! Hold that, young bucks! But anyway, sorry. In other news.
Oh my God, this guy.
Listen, other news, yeah. Reece James. I'm gonna be honest. Can I say a few things here? And I don't want
No,
people
lie
to
to
get
me.
me.
Lie to me.
Okay. First, am I happy Reece James signed for Chelsea? As any Chelsea fan would say,
Can I say a few things? And then the first thing you do is ask yourself a return.
Yep.
yeah.
Look, am I happy?
Yes. Like, listen, I am happy, of course. Listen, I am happy that obviously he's signed a new contract. But at the same time, I don't want to personally hear from Chelsea fans, I feel sorry for Reece James. And do you know why?
I took it personal.
Do you know why I say that?
Why?
Sorry. 1 second. Something just
He's not serious. He's not serious, bro.
No. I'm so sorry. Something just came up. I don't know. 1 second. I'll be back. I'll be back.
Anyways.
Oh my God.
Anyways,
You know what happened?
Point,
This is probably the time when his brown
point.
envelope direct deposits.
Yeah, bro. He saw the amount of zeros.
All right,
on,
you know what? I'm back.
on the
Okay.
check that cash.
Sorry, guys. I'm back now. Okay, I'm back now. Sorry. Adam Copeland came back. Shout out to our boy. But anyway, the reason why I don't want to hear people say I feel sorry for Reece James is because Reece James knows what the project is. He knows the way the ownership is moving, and he knows the way the ownership is doing his thing. Okay, and he said, "I am happy to sign the contract to stay here and to and knowing that this process is going to happen." Okay. That is one thing where I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I understand he loves the club. That's brilliant.
Nobody feels sorry for him.
No.
I don't feel
People are
sorry for
saying, thank you. But these guys are saying they feel sorry for Reece James.
No.
How can you say that?
I'll tell you why. I feel sorry for him because he knows how shit the club is.
Yeah.
We know how shit the club is. Right, as the world. He could be Madrid right now, replacing Trent again. You know what I'm saying?
Madrid. He could be in City right now.
He could be in Barcelona.
He could be in Barcelona.
He could be in
I can't have him moving to City.
He could.
He walks into any.
He could be
of
at
these teams.
Bayern.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyways, but you know what? The thing is, like, I don't feel bad for him because at the end of the day, like he chose love, and I'm never gonna knock somebody who chooses love, bro. You know what I'm saying? So,
The R stands
the day, bro.
Yo, the R stands for romantic.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, listen. You can hold up. You can make funny whatever.
RSM is a real Latino, man.
End of the day, bro. This level of loyalty is not seen in the game. Look at how Trent did Liverpool, bro.
That's true.
Trent was out here telling them, oh, like, I don't really talk about my contracts. Meanwhile, this brother was level 10 on Duolingo. That brother he was on Tinder, VPN in Madrid. So he had the baddies lined up when he landed. But to the Liverpool fans, he's like, oh, I don't know. It could go either way. I'm telling you, bro, this level of loyalty is not seen in today's game, bro. Having a player be a one club player, bro, that's going to be like once every 2 decades, we're going to see a player like Reece James stick with the club, especially of his level. I'm not talking about a bump. This guy is world class and would start for almost any team in the entire world. And you're not going to hear otherwise, bro. Especially in leagues outside of the Prem where it's not as physical and he wouldn't get as injured, brother. He eating.
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
He chose his heart and he chose love, and I back that. I don't feel bad for him, bro.
Listen, and you know what? He chose
the baddie that was, he chose the girl that was there with him in the trenches day one. You know what I'm saying? So I can't.
The one that was there with him when he was shooting.
Not even wrong.
Exactly, bro.
And you know what?
Like he said in his post, when the boots were too big, that's who he chose.
And you know what, man? He can hold that afterwards as well. You know what I mean? You live by the sword and you die by the sword.
Ahmed, if he succeeds, that means we succeed. I don't know what he's holding.
RSM, you know what? I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of, like, he was there for the girl at her highest point, aka us winning the Champions League in 2021. And now he's there to support her now. It's his turn. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Exactly, bro. Like,
it's his turn to support her.
Or something?
Too bad she's fat now. She's got a lazy eye.
You know what? I still love her anyways.
Yeah, but you gotta
love handles for a reason, man.
Yeah, she don't do the things that she used to. RSM, she don't cook anymore for you.
I know. I took it personal.
but you know, when you look at her, you still think of that day when she was on top of the world, man.
I know.
You know what?
Nah, that's amazing.
You're still
You-
supermodel
listen,
Maya.
you can all say that,
She's
but
25.
listen. You can say that. Listen, I can all say
Every
that.
day- every
but
day
you know,
rage bait, I mean,
but
you
no,
never
it's
get
not
tired,
rage
man.
bait. It's not even rage bait, bro. I'm actually being. This is my genuine opinion, bro. But the reality is,
Love is
bro,
dead,
the girl
bro.
changed.
Love is dead.
The girl changed, bro. The girl changed, bro. Life changed. Time moves on, bro. If the girl's not the same anymore and it's not looking like the time, it's not looking like it's gonna change anytime soon. Why should I be
But
with
he-
her, bro?
but he chose love, bro.
Why
He
should I
chose
be?
love.
No
Why
love.
should I
Look-
be
look
with
at
her?
her just
For me,
dropping hoes.
listen, for me, listen, for me, love
See,
is about
years
love
of
is a
loyalty, years of the grind mean nothing
No,
to
no,
Ahmed,
no,
bro.
love
The
is a
instant you
long-term-
switch up, he's gone.
no.
We're
Love
gonna
is a
speak from an UNC perspective. This is what's wrong with this generation, or
no, it's not.
Speak
Love,
on it.
no,
Cook
no,
him.
it's not.
Cook
No, it's
him.
not. No, it's not. Love is a
This
two-way
Gen Z
street.
generation,
Love,
man.
no, it's not. Love is a two-way street, bro. You know, I have to give. I am giving something to you and you giving something to me. There's a mutual respect there. Okay, they're not. Listen, they're not giving him the mutual respect back. They're not. They're not helping him out. What are they doing with him? They're not helping him. Are they not helping him?
But she was there with him to help him grow. Okay, she was there to help him be the man.
I know. Wait. No. And now when he's in his prime, yeah, and he's doing the work. There's no one. There's no other guys with him to help him.
Now, hang on, I'm going to step in here. I'm going to step in here because I'm going to, because you know, I'm going to feel sorry for this guy because I seem to remember that when a certain Eden Hazard was at this club, and let's not get it twisted. He knew the way this club was running. When we won a league title, and Marina Granovskaya signed Nathan and Michael Hector. When we won another league title, when she signed Bakayoko and Davide Zappacosta. And we felt sorry for him. He knew what it was. So why can't we feel sorry for Reece James? We felt sorry that Hazard couldn't win the Champions League at this club. So why can't we feel sorry for Reece James? It's the same situation.
Same situation.
You know what?
yeah.
You notice Ahmed never feels sorry for a black man. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
I didn't feel sorry. I did not feel sorry.
Ahmed shed tears for Mason Mount.
Listen, I did.
Gallagher, you feel for.
Listen, I didn't personally.
He cried for Gallagher.
Be a roasted.
He did.
Listen,
He said
I
Gallagher was
didn't-
mistreated.
Listen, the reason why with Reece James here that I'm not like this is that Reece James knows what's up. He knows the deal. Okay.
Let me ask
He
you this
knows-
though, Ahmed. Hold on. Let me just ask you this, Ahmed. What could Reece James have done to make your change, like make you have a more positive outlook on his career?
Honestly, if he, I hate to say this, but if he left my club and went somewhere else, which was much better, right? You know what?
City.
I hate to be like City to a Real Madrid or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
No, bro.
that's a much better. You know what? I can hate him doing that. I can be like, oh, you're a prick. But at the same time, I would honestly, objectively, being an objective man, understand why he did that, bro. I can understand that.
No,
But
hold up.
you wouldn't
Objectively, I
come
understand,
out
but
and
that's
call
the
him
same.
a
But he chose his
backstabber
heart,
or
bro.
that he
No,
gave
I
up.
wouldn't call him a backstabber. I didn't call him a
Okay,
backstabber.
because a lot of people probably would
You
call
know-
him a snake.
No,
If he went,
you know,
hold up,
it's
if
the
he went,
same-
hold up, like if he went Arsenal or
It's the
some
same
shit, yeah,
reason.
bro.
It's the same reason with Hazard. Why I was like, when Hazard left the club to go
Yeah,
to
so
Real
Real Madrid, though,
I
not
was,
a
you
direct
know,
rival.
I was like, you know what? That's fair play because he didn't win the UCL with us, right? Obviously, towards the end, our transfer policy was extremely poor too. Fair play.
Sure.
You know what I mean? We have to, like, if I respect Hazard, I have to respect Reece James moving on the two because we're not helping out my bro.
I would have understood either way. I'm
Yeah.
happy he stayed.
Of
but like,
course,
like
I
the
just
thing is,
don't
like,
want. Sorry,
there's also
Marshall.
the perspective, real quick. There's also the perspective of like, okay, if we are all Chelsea fans, we eventually want what's best for Chelsea, right? Reece James leaving and him also being a Chelsea fan probably puts Chelsea in a worse position than had he just stayed and tried to work from within the inside of the club to try to make this better. And
Marshall,
I thought
who's
about
his
this
backup?
earlier.
Who's his
I thought
backup?
about this earlier, Gusto. I thought about this earlier, right? If I'm thinking the long-term game, if I'm Reece James seeing all this from the inside and all this and that, I'm probably thinking, okay, I'm going to spend my career here. We don't know what the future holds, but one thing I am for certain is that I would like a position at the club at some point. I am professional throughout my career at Chelsea. Maybe get a fee towards the last end of my career like Lampard did. And then I come back at Chelsea at some level to maybe make an influence. from the inside, because I am Chelsea. I have seen everything from the inside. I have gained their trust. I have been their best soldier. I have agreed, cooperated, took a pay cut for them. Surely they'll pay me back for my loyalty in the form of, oh, maybe I'll be a director of some sort or something like that. Kind of how Czech was kind of back in the swing of things under Marina and Roman.
But Marshall, here's the little spanner to your whole thing.
Sure.
This is a 20-year long time. Man's only 25 or something. He still has another
Yeah.
10 years. Then he's got to retire.
It's a long game
Build that
thing, yeah.
up. And we don't know if this ownership's going to be here for another 20 years. That's
We
the
don't know
other
if they're going to
thing.
go down.
He doesn't
We
seem
don't know if
like
they're going to
the-
leave. That's the other thing too.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like the type that would like. I feel like once he
Again, I
retires from football,
think you're doing too much. I just think at the end of the day,
it's
like
tired.
he just has emotional ties to the club. He doesn't like. He just didn't want to leave. Like I
Yeah.
think he was
And
willing
also
to
God of
accept
War
like
is the
most
right.
conditions to stay at the club, and he wanted to fight for the badge. That's really what it is, bro. He wants to continue playing for Chelsea,
true,
and
too.
he really
Yeah, that's what I'm
he
saying.
loves the
This would
club. That's what it is,
happen.
bro. Because like he said, he even said it in the interview. If I wanted money, and this is the thing that was left unsaid, obviously, because they're not gonna ask him in an interview. But he knew that he probably had a higher chance of winning if he went elsewhere as well. That's just that's left unsaid. That's left unsaid. But ask him the question that he's like, oh, I could have made more money. Again, the parentheses is I also could have. If a club is paying more money, it's probably a better club that's in a better position than. Like that's the parentheses
That's
right there.
killing me. Who's shouting in Ahmed's background? It's Finkelstein.
Yeah, it's Finkelstein.
He's not Finkelstein, man. My brothers.
That's what when I was laughing. I wasn't laughing at anything.
No, I saw that.
My younger brother's come
Yeah.
back. My younger brother's come back
yeah,
from a trip,
100%
and he's back to playing the stupid Fortnite rubbish, man. And he's smashing out as
Fortnite.
usual.
Yeah, my sister came
Fortnite,
back
he's
from
playing
spring
Fortnite
break,
with
and she's also
Finkelstein,
playing Fortnite. So
You know what it is, man. Listen, I just don't want to hear. I feel sorry for him.
No one.
That's it.
No,
no, bro. I'm
listen.
listen. Me personally, like, listen. Being completely selfish, I'm happy he stayed. Like, I said.
Listen,
like,
again, we can. Two
if
things can
James
be
left,
true.
I would have ended, bro. I would have ended. Bro. I'm not even lying to you, bro.
two things can be true. I am happy that he stayed, but I don't want to hear that people feel sorry for him.
No,
That's
because
what
the
I'm
thing is,
saying.
I feel bad for him in either situation. It's a lose-lose. Like, you stay at Chelsea and you're under this ownership and you have to start talking like them and doing their... Because we saw, like, he was saying a lot of shit in there that I don't even believe in, and I thought was bullshit with the whole... the project isn't... Like, we know he was just saying it. It's PR, all that bullshit, right? But, like, I feel bad that he has to stay at Chelsea in this version of Chelsea because this is a club he loves. But I also would have felt bad if he had to leave because Chelsea aren't ambitious and for his own career he can't stay at the club he really wants to stay at.
Yeah.
So it's a
That's why
lose-lose.
we only feel bad because we know that he's a world-class player that deserves to have other world-class players around him, just like Hazard did, and we didn't do it.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why we feel bad. But yeah, at the end of the day, you're right, Ahmed. He chose, and look what RSM was saying, he chose his heart over legacy,
My
over
captain, bro. He bleeds blue, man.
trophies and that kind of stuff. So yeah, look,
chose love.
either way, I
He
mean,
chose love, bro.
Choose the love can be.
Looking for love in all the wrong
listen,
places.
listen. I always say, man, you can choose love after you've got the money. Get the money first, then love comes second, man.
Brother, he already got the money.
That's it,
Plus,
man.
he already listen. At the end of the day, too, as well. Like
Sometimes
obviously,
you
we
know.
want him to have the prem, but he won the Champions League, bro. Like, there's
You
a
know
lot
what
of
it is.
players that never won the
Sometimes
Champions League, man.
you know what. Oh, all right. Let's see.
He's
Look
like
at this
Gerrard,
defeatist
man.
mentality. Look at this defeatist mentality. But you know, one thing I
Man,
want to
go
just
fuck yourself, bro.
all right, Roberto, man. How about you? I hope you.
What about you, listen? Yeah, it's true. I'm agree with this.
I hope you choose love. I hope you
listening to Ahmed talk, bro.
Listen, I hope you choose love, Roberto. That's all I'm saying. But you know, listen. You know what it is for me.
Love
You know,
every time, bro.
you know what it is, man. Sometimes though, you know, if you're a player, you gain luck in the sense that you find love and you get the money at the same time. You know what I mean? And and that's the difference between me and Reece James. That's what I have to say, man.
No, that's the
Guys,
difference.
like,
It's
this
not
is-
the one that he's a world class footballer, and all right, that's the difference.
You know, listen, man. Sometimes.
Casually FC, I'm glad that we clarified that for all the people out there that were sitting there like, what's the difference between Reece James and Ahmed?
Yeah.
That's it right there, chat. We got it.
Everyone's got. Listen, all I'm saying, everyone's got a different level of content, man, and that's all, man.
I get it. I mean, his sister's at the club.
Footballer, you know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
that's content. You know?
It is what it is. Now we'll see. We'll see if some of these other guys.
What I'm saying, man,
Do the
if
thing.
I hear Reece James transfer request next season or the season after, guys.
If I do,
I'll
Want me to cry?
Hey, you know what I'm
Honestly,
saying?
if he did-
That's what I'm saying.
Next year, at the end of next season, he turns in a transfer request. You know what I would say, Ahmed? I'd be like, fair play. Depending on what we surround him with this offseason, what kind of guys we bring in. A lot can change.
If that happens, we
you
might,
know what I
we
also
might get a
thought
Chris
of?
Cameron reveal if that happens. Because
This actually kind of concerns me. It might be. It probably shouldn't. But after Reece, who's next?
No. What do you mean? Who's next? There's no
Ashby,
team. What the fuck?
Regen, I don't know. Like,
Because when
Ashby
we won the
lost
Champions League, we knew from Ashby eventually Reece was probably going to be a captain. We kind of already knew.
so basically, we'll get like a Sanchez.
Well,
Kepa
Enzo might
level,
leave,
like,
so that's
keeper
not.
to right
So
back.
that's one gone.
We got Gus-
Whoa, they
Gus-
sold all those
21.
players, Marshall. They sold
Levi
all these
Colwell.
players. They sold all those players, Marshall, bro.
After
Yeah,
Colwell's
Colwell, yeah,
almost
Colwell.
like, is Colwell like, how much younger is Colwell than Reece? Like
He's
only.
5 years. I think Colwell's 21.
Colwell's
Oh,
not
there's a
right
good
back.
amount. Okay, there's a good amount of age gap.
Yeah, but Colwell's
because I'm
not
worried
right
about that generation. Like, we need to have a proper
Oh,
kind of-
now he wants to worry about Cobham. Now you want to worry about Cobham, Marshall. You fraud. You are fraud, Marshall. No. I'm sorry. Give me that yellow card. I don't care. You know what?
You get the straight red.
You're
Brown
Let's go,
envelope,
baby.
brown
You're right.
envelope.
Let's go.
Hey,
That's
no
that brown
VAR
envelope
on the
talking.
second yellow either.
No VAR.
Yeah, this
on that one.
this is
Yeah, no,
this is-
the rule change
this
isn't implemented
This
yet.
is first. This is
I
first
can't
rounds
check
they
for
care
the
about.
second
Yeah, this is
yellow.
first rounds they care about. There's
we're outta
no
here.
VR, man.
Any final thoughts on Reece before I go into some injuries and then we can wrap it up?
Bro, I love Reece and I told him he could have my hamstrings, bro. So that offer still stands.
I just want to say if Reece ever gets sold or leaves this club,
Are you
I
going
think
with him?
We might get a real Chris face reveal.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna see. I might see.
Bro, I'm saying right now, hold on,
I might see real Chris cry live on stream.
I'm showing up to Casually FC with a bottle of Patron. And
Yeah, I
I'm
can see that. I can see that. It'll be a sad day when Reece has to leave.
Like
Man.
it's gonna be a sad day when I join the Discord and we're not bantering Chris about Reese's chest straps. Like, what do I do then?
It'll just be
What do I
Chris. It
do
won't be
now?
real Chris anymore.
it'll just be it'll feel empty, bro.
I'm sure you'll find something else.
Sure, Chris. We're gonna have to check on your health once Reece leaves. But all right, let's move on to the final topic of today's show, and that's gonna be injury roundup. Everyone's favorite segment. Yep. So we got some injuries to talk about, and yeah, this should be interesting. Kind of, sort of returning injuries, to be honest.
Do we care who's injured?
Sort of. Rosenior, Levi is back in modified training, and Jamie Gittins is back. So Levi Colwell is back in training, ladies and gents. He has
His cheeks are red.
Hey, Ahmed, you remember this epic line when we saw Wesley Fofana? Levi Colwell's got the boots on, baby. Levi Colwell's got the boots on.
That segment. Who was
Right
wrong?
the cheeks. Pause.
Yeah, I was wrong about that one. Understandable excitement from CFC fans over seeing Levi Colwell in training earlier. This is not the first time he's been with the group, but it is still early days in terms of playing again. It is still a good sign and hope and plan that he will play before the end of the season. And then Esteban Willian was working individually on training pitch at Cobham Friday, and he should see him. We should see him return to the team session soon. Hamstring injury, Chris.
Oh, hamstring.
Yeah. he's been dealing with a hamstring injury.
Basically, we've already killed the young lad already. Fucking hell, bro. Already killed the fuck.
Bro, they're killing everyone's hamstrings.
They already killed the young lad already, man. You know, Gittins and him already got hamstring issues, bro. How many kills they played with?
Delap had a hamstring injury.
Delap too. Delap as well.
Delap had an injury, yeah. But you know, Delap heals like fucking Wolverine. They'll be like he's out for 9 weeks, and Delap comes back 2 games later.
I swear to God, you know, I said this recently, KG. Yeah, Delap would make a great tight end, bro. He'd make a great tight end, man. I'll be honest.
Bro,
with
we
you,
said
man.
this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we said this on our watch on, bro. It's not too late to switch sports, bro.
It's not too late to switch the horse, man. He's got the physicality. He's got the movement, agility.
Mentality.
Yeah, man.
Skills.
But he hasn't got the
Yeah, man.
Anyone giving a hamstring to Gittins? No, probably not.
Nah,
You know what, Chris? Maybe he'd be a good member of the Uncle Howdy crew. Maybe he can just be the Pinitia. What are you saying?
Huh?
No.
Uncle
stop
Howdy.
it. No, like ignore him.
You know, Chris. He can be the Pinitia of your group, Chris. You know what I mean? Let's take the all of the moves.
Ignore Ahmed.
So we are,
Sounds like you want him to join the Christmas Adventurers crew.
Hey. Hold that, Chris.
So apart from Colwell, which we knew was pretty much going to be a season-ending injury, we're almost full strength, right?
Almost.
And our bench still sucks. How bad is
man.
that?
We'll be full strength when Jorgensen comes back from his groin injury.
Or Mudryk, when Mudryk comes back.
Oh, Jesus Christ, bro. When is that going to happen? I still don't understand when that's going to happen.
I don't get
What
it.
the hell?
I've never seen less like clarity about someone that's suspended for drugs than what we've seen with Mudryk. Like it makes no sense to me. But
The only player worth giving a damn in terms of subs is this guy right here, Esteval. We could really use
I wanna see Mudryk
a little
come
bit of
back
spark. Damn, bro. We've
it's
really
not bad,
fallen.
man. The
We've
left
really
wing is
fallen
bad.
so far off that we're asking for
I was
Mudryk
talking
to
to
come
my
back.
barber,
bro.
like saying, like, because he's mentioned Mudryk to me, so yeah, I'd put him over Gittins and Garnacho. His ability, anyway, over Garnacho's ability.
You're not wrong. Not wrong. I mean, to be fair, Garnacho's actually been playing decent recently.
Oh my
He's not been playing.
I don't expect.
You know what it is?
I said
Garnacho,
decent, not good.
No. The thing about
But it's not been
Garnacho,
decent, bro.
you know, I was watching against Newcastle, yeah, and this brother, he actually cannot go 1v1 with the Mandem anymore, bro.
No,
like he tries to do the one.
Never started.
He never could.
No.
good.
The thing that worked.
This
what?
Bro.
Ronda Rousey.
This guy's got the attention.
Ronda
span of
Rousey?
a
What the fuck?
goldfish, bro.
Okay, what the fuck?
Chris, Ronda Rousey's in
He
AEW, Chris.
did warn me 12 o'clock is gonna be WWE time, so.
But
AEW time. Respect the company. You fraud. You know what I mean?
But when I told you kick Ahmed, I was taking it too far.
You know what it is, yeah. You know what it is, man. You know what it is, RSM. I found out recently that my manager's husband is Ecuadorian, and I told her about you.
Your
so,
managers, okay, that's a
yeah.
connection for sure.
Yeah, you know, I've had to. I found out that it might be a cousin, so. No, might be getting a cousin. Listen, don't make me. Listen, keep pushing my buttons, yeah. Keep hitting options, and we're gonna be calling the Department of Immigration. You're gonna call immigration services on him. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Keep pushing my buttons, man. Keep pressing me, RSM.
Nah, man, but yeah, Isugo's nearing a comeback. Levi Colwell is training, almost in regular team training. He's still in
Isugo's not
modified
back?
training.
I thought he's back.
Isugo is back.
Yeah.
Isugo is finally back. He's just not been used, and Gittins is back in training.
Isugo is Marshall's Caicedo, bro.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. considering I don't have any Peruvian ballers like that. Where was was not Isugo? Who am I thinking
Ronda
of?
Rousey getting a paycheck in AEW.
Was Gittins on the bench against Newcastle?
Well, I'm sick of this company, bro. I can't believe this did this.
I don't know if he was on the bench.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
Guys, Gittins. You know what's crazy for Gittins?
Gittins was sitting there, but I don't think he was like on the official bench. Yeah.
Talk to me.
You know what's crazy about Gittins? Gittins is nasty work here because apparently he was going to be on the bench and come on for us against Newcastle, which low-key, he actually would have helped us. Because he actually, the problem with Gittins these
We
days
have no
is that,
attacking options, bro.
Yeah, because the problem with Gittins is he can actually dribble. The problem is what is happening afterwards is just like he forgets that it's not the Bundesliga and you have an extra half a space where you can then do like a little hold of the ball. And so he had like his he said he felt his hamstring. So that's
true actually. I think he got another hamstring injury. So
I thought when he heard it the first time, I thought he was out.
He said he felt something. He said he felt a little something. He pulled up.
Yeah, this was March 10th, so it's been 5 days. He may have felt something else.
Yeah, man. Oh,
EPL Turf, you're a criminal, by the way. You are actually a criminal. Like if I had the audacity to put you behind bars,
my demon EPL Turf, my demon
slandering me. First of all, I find a goddamn quote where I said Trev is underrated, and then take me out of context when I said Garnacho is decent. I said Garnacho was decent against Newcastle. You fraud! I'm gonna send the fucking UK embassy after you, bro.
He's actually from the same part of the US as E. Marshall.
Okay, EPL Turf, I'm gonna find you.
I'm
gonna find you. Yes.
You know,
we're gonna have choice words, my friend.
You know, shout out to EPL Turf, man. EPL Turf is a day one Bridge Nation subscriber, you know. So I always got love for him. I always got love for him, man.
Fraud Nation.
I got love for my demon, man. I got love for my demon, man.
Jesus. We're gonna have choice words.
You know, Marshall, man. Can you tell me a Peruvian that's playing in football, like that's the top league of football, please?
What do you mean? What?
Name me a Peruvian that's playing the top league of football.
Ahmed,
Gabriel
well,
Martinelli.
Ahmed, you have a guy from Baller League.
We've got a championship player. We've got a guy playing for Norwich right now.
Brother,
respect us now.
My baller played for Chelsea.
Ahmed has Baller League people on his national team, bro.
Listen. Let me know when Ecuador wins a. Let me know when Ecuador wins a cup, please.
You don't want to. You don't want to do.
Golden generation Ecuador. Golden generation Ecuador and no trophies. That's all I'm saying right now.
Listen, bro. There's plenty of time. These players are young, man.
Listen, I better be seeing.
Find it because you're lying.
Listen, I better be seeing a semi-final appearance this year.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Because if I don't see listen, I'm slandering you.
Hey, we'll be there
every week.
Ahmed, you're slandering them anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true.
If I don't see a Ecuador semifinal World Cup appearance, I'm slandering. Yo, you are nasty work on me.
No, man. RSM be glazing out all his players. Hincapié ain't Asian. Listen, no, man. I don't want to hear that. I want
on Euros, so.
Oh, listen. Wales every day, Chris. They're rubbish, mate. You know what I mean? They're washed. Give it up, bro. Listen, what's guys? Let me tell you a little secret, Bettino. Can I tell you a little secret about Somalia and Ecuador?
I'm gonna be glazing.
Let me tell you,
Chavez soon, Peruvian baller.
Listen, let me tell you this quickly, guys. Yeah, there's no difference between Wales and Somalia. You know why? No World Cup. And no, intercontinental trophy. I've gone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It don't matter. I don't even listen.
Except one of us plays against Brazil, Argentina, Colombia. You made them are playing against the
listen, Senegal. Senegal.
San Andreas FC.
Brother, you don't even make it into the tournament. So I don't know what you're arguing here. Bro.
I'd rather be in it to win it. I'd rather win the tournament than just be a part.
No, brother, you're not even in it to it. You're not in it,
bro. That is the most Arsenal thing I've heard you say, bro. You know what? Nah. Double booking, bro.
He said I'd rather be in it to win it when you're not in it.
Double booking for Arsenal slander.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's my nation. That's my nation.
Hold up.
You're cooked. Also, respect Claudio Pizarro.
This is the dude walking on the street saying, "Nah, like if I have a car, it has to be a Ferrari. Otherwise, I just walk." What are you talking about?
What the hell?
Ahmed Pop said
Nah, Ahmed, bro, you crazy, bro. Ahmed takes it to the next level, man. Hey, respect Claudio Pizarro, Chelsea Peruvian legend. Okay, he's the only legend for Peruvians, not for Chelsea. But regardless, legend. Okay, respect Claudio Pizarro. But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. That's the end of the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys I know it's been like almost a month since the last time I did it, but schedule, work, all that stuff got in the way. We're trying to bring this back more consistently, like we always do. But yeah, if you guys haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Helps us out tremendously. We're trying to hit the 5K subscriber mark, so I would really appreciate if you new guys here who haven't subscribed already but are enjoying the content, hit that subscribe so that you help me hit that goal sooner rather than later. And there's a big surprise in it for people as well. Also, be sure to like the video if you haven't done so already. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm, which always is helpful to getting more people to watch the videos, discover the channel, all that fun stuff. Also, be sure to check out memberships, 4 different tiers starting at 99p. And as always, at the end of every show, when we do end the stream, we give shout outs to all of our members. And that's going to be... pardon me. And those members are going to be, give me 1 second while I get this list up. Whoops, I am bottling it. All right, that's going to be Lanre Sadiq, A. Soliman, EE, and Adrian. Big up to you guys. We're going to raid out to Sarcasm City, who is still on. So go ahead and copy and paste the raid message. Let them know where you're coming from. And as always, ladies and gents, appreciate you being here. We'll catch you again on the next stream. American Waffle tomorrow. I'll be there. For those of you that were actually asking, I think Marco, you were one of the people. I'll be there tomorrow. No scheduling conflicts now. And yeah, we'll be back again with more content this week. All right. Keep your eyes peeled, and we'll see you again soon. Have a wonderful night. Stay casual. Peace.
Peace.